If you're joining us online, thanks to Eli, I had that muted. So we're going to have wrestling here this evening, and we'd encourage people to follow along. We're going to kind of stay on the mat where the Red Oak Tigers are at, but we're going to hop back and forth a little bit here and there. But generally speaking, we're going to stay with our camera on the mat where the Red Oak Tigers are wrestling. So that's kind of the plan for this evening. Should be a good one. Eli, let's take a quick break, and we'll be back after this. Okay, welcome back. It is time, Eli, almost, for some wrestling here.
That's right, absolutely. You know, it's kind of a tale of two seasons. I'm going to assume this is one of the last meets for all these teams here before we get on to Christmas break. And then once January hits, this thing starts rolling along, and before you know it, we're at the state tournament. So it's a fast-paced season, but it's wrestling time, and we're here for it. So,
absolutely.
Yes.
So it gets under wrestling. We'll try to do our best with names.
Yes, that
is the challenge with wrestling. That is for sure. So
that is a huge announcement here, and and throughout the years, I think Aaron's great with it, but I've gotten better with some of the last names. But at the same time, when it comes down to wrestling, it's really hard to tell, especially who sends out who first and who's going out, because you never know. There might be a kid that they like a matchup with, and they might want to bump one and may be able to do things like that. So I guess we're going to see where we're going to get started. But I know we're going to get started at 190. And is that Schofield? Am I saying that correctly? For
Red Oak?
For Red Oak. At 190.
Yeah. Tyler Schofield.
Schofield. So Schofield,
Tyler
I think
Schofield.
It looks like St. Albert's going to be open at 190 as well. So that's going to be the 6 there on the board to start off the duel here for Red Oak. 190 is going to be open. They'll go to 215 with Oliver Dykes of Red Oak. And then it looks like out here we're going to get Andrew Tameo of St. Albert. So that's going to get the first match of the day started here at 2:15. And again, I always keep one ear open to try to be able to hear who's coming out. But seems like it's been a good start for the season here for all these teams, and I've seen St. Albert wrestle a time or two, and Underwood again also has a team that is really tough all the way throughout. And with Denison too as well, a team that's, if they're filling the weights, especially when you can fill the weights in duels and you get a bunch of guys out like they have here, it's a really good sign to be able to have. And same thing with Red Oak, looking like over 20-odd some guys out, which is a great thing.
That's a good thing. Many times if you can just fill the weight,
that's a huge
gain
thing.
Some points for duels.
And that's what
are we having some technical difficulties here, Eli? It seems like maybe some not on our end necessarily yet anyway.
But throughout for the state of Iowa, and honestly I think it's throughout the entire nation, you have to use track wrestling. That's how everything gets tracked. That's how records get put out, and that's a big thing with seeding too as well when you get to seed. So you've got to be able to use track wrestling, and sometimes that gets tough. But once that gets down and going, it's good to go.
So you have Hune for Underwood over on the orange mat at the moment.
Yeah, and I think that
over there for a second, and that's going to get underway.
Yeah, right off the get-go here with Denison and Underwood. Nice shot fake there coming from Underwood. I don't know who the two names are, but we'll go with with Underwood and Denison.
Yeah, Hune is for Underwood.
Hune with a nice double leg here coming in. Now switches off to a single. Now coming off to the side. Does a nice job trying to keep those legs crisscross. Does a good job getting himself a takedown. And, and the big change here, and it's 3 points now for a takedown. So that's a change throughout the entire country, which, I'm getting used to it. I'm used to saying that 2 super loudly, but now it's more like 3, so which is a good thing here. I think it increases the matches. So then again, doing a nice job getting to a collar tie now, getting to down onto a wrist. Circling out, nice snap down on the head, goes in now for a shot. That's a great job too as well. When you see guys that are able to get in good ties and they're able to do a nice snap, once you get that snap and they expose themselves, you're able to get yourself a shot that you want. Does a nice job stepping through, might be looking to get himself in on a Turk here. Steps through, keeps the legs crossed, and now is going to lead here 6-2. Goes in now again for a shot with a collar tie. It looks like I think we're going to get started here over on the black mat here with Red Oak.
Yeah, we're going to hop over to Red Oak here and kind of go back and forth when we can. We're going to, like I said early on, Eli, we're going to stay with Red Oak, generally speaking, when they take the mat. Again, I think they're struggling some with technology here, and I think we're going to get going now.
Yeah, I think maybe a couple, again, and that's track wrestling. Sometimes you just can't control that. I guess we'll hop back over to the orange mat here. And again, goes onto a wrist here is Schleswig. And a nice slide by to a single here is Hune of Underwood, but does a nice job getting out of it. Here is Denison. Circles her way out of it. Now going to try to go back to the center part of the mat. And again for Denison, Azika.
Yeah.
And now goes
Argosinger.
Argosinger. There we go. I'll get that down at some point. I'm going to have to be able to write that down. But again, nice job again. Coming here is Hune Goes back. Looks like we're going to get ready here on the black mat, Aaron. Nice job here right off the whistle is a shot coming from Dykes. Now goes upper body here. Now going to a headlock. Now just gets himself caught into a cow catcher. No points rewarded yet. There's going to be the 3. Dykes trying to be able to fall off to the side. And again, another big point of emphasis that changes in Iowa is you just have to have 1 point of – you just have one part of your body pretty much on the mat, and you're going to wrestle all the way through, which is great because that extends it out. That makes you wrestle to the edge of the mat. And you're able to get yourself some points in those tight scenarios, wrestles all the way through. But that's going to be 6 points there, 6-point move, gets 3 swipes, gets the 3 back. Now leads here is Tamo up 6-1. Nice job from Dykes here. Goes from a slide by now, trying to be able to get himself a takedown here. Gets himself a takedown for 3 to cut this lead down to 6-4. Tough ride here on top. Got to be able to stay on his toes. Now going into a crossface here, coming off the right. Looking maybe for a cradle. Is going to let Tameo go, and they're going to be back up on their feet. Score is now 7-4. And this 3-point takedown changes a lot of things. Now, what you used to be down 2 takedowns worth, now you're just down 1. Goes in for a straight double leg. Got to be able to get his head out to the side. Tameo now gets himself worked around, get himself another takedown for 3. Leads now here going to be 10-4. 10-5 now, 38 seconds left here in this first period. Really likes to get upper body, and that's one thing I noticed with a lot of Red Oak wrestlers, and that's credit to Coach Podliska. Now there's that lat toss there from Dykes. Does a great job and is going to be able to get the fall there for Red Oak. Nice job from Dykes. Does a good job. Again, what I was just saying is Red Oak's kind of, I think, becoming now known for this Greco style of wrestling. And, and if you can pick up points, that's the way it's huge. And if you're able to get in Greco, there's a lot of kids in high school wrestling that get really uncomfortable with it. And Coach Podliska does a great job being able to teach that with his guys.
Absolutely. Coming in heavyweight here is Nolan Perrin at wrestling 285.
And Perrin now is a type of wrestler that's experienced too here. Being in this program for 4 years, has really put on some size, you can tell. And being a heavyweight that is able to have some speed and some strength, you're going to be able to find a way to get a lot of wins here. And Nolan Perrin, I think, is the guy to be able to lead this program here for Red Oak and gets himself in at 285. And I think St. Albert looks like they're going to be open.
I think so.
And they'll be open at 285, so another 6 points go on the board to lead here 12-0.
All right.
And we're going to now go down into 106.
While we're getting those wrestlers up, Eli, I'm going to hop over and just pan over here to the orange mat. And
I'm just listening for a name here real quick, what we have. It looks like Aiden Gall.
Aiden Gall, I believe,
for St. Albert and for Red Oak.
I think that may be open.
I think that they're listed at 6. So St. Albert sent out first. We're going to find out here in just a second. Yeah, it's going to be Gall of St. Albert, and actually they're going to be open, so maybe it looks like, that's a smart move because if you look down at it, they're going to bump because they maybe think they've got a better chance at 13 because Red Oak's open at 13, so they're going to send out for Red Oak. And I think it may look like that they're just bouncing back and forth, so pretty much just to have it be all square to be able to go out, send out, get your 6 at 106, then come out, then they're going to bump and take the forfeit at 13. And that's exactly what's going to happen. So, smart way to do it, especially if it's your choice. They're going to send one.
Kind of a chess match, Eli.
It is a chess match a little bit. It gets a little confusing up here in the booth, but you never know. So, they'll bounce back and forth, and now we'll go into 120 here. Red Oak with a 24-6 lead. So let's see who's coming out.
120. Benny Johnson for the St. Albert Falcons, and Brandon Zamaron. So Johnson and Zamaron on the black mat.
So Zamaron coming up at he's going to stay out at 20. Zamaron and Johnson going to shake hands at the center here. And we're going to get going. Hand fighting here with a collar tie on the right side is Zamaron getting an inside tie. Circling here right on the out part of the mat. Now onto a 2-on-1 is Zamaron. They're going to break out of the tie and come back to the center. 15 seconds ticked off the clock now. A 2-on-1 here for Johnson. Break out of the tie, and that's some of these first periods too as well. Trying to be able to find out what they can get open here for each other, see what shots they're going to be able to take. Now again, onto a wrist action here with a 2-on-1, both just hand fighting on the edge of the mat. Going to have to circle back in. Now to a snap down, almost going to a slap style shot here is Johnson. Going to a shuck by here, no points were. Good defense there coming from Zamaron, and they're going to go back to the center. You get into, when you get to shoot with your head down like that, Johnson did a good job trying to be able to bounce the head off the mat, but then was not able to finish. Now trying to get down to a leg here, onto a single on the edge of the mat. Plenty of room to be able to score here. Going to limp arm out, going to get himself a takedown for 3. Now going for the far side cradle. Has to be able to bring this back onto the mat because he's still got 1 point of contact in, and there's still the 1 point. Nice job. Oh, he's close. It's a nice job from Johnson trying to be able to keep that toe in on the edge of the mat. The heel lifts up, and they're going to go out of bounds. It's 3-0 is your lead here for Johnson of St. Albert over Zamaron. Zamaron will cover. Off the whistle, trying to be able to tripod himself up. Johnson now going heavy on a chop and jam on the left side. Trying to break down this wrist here, Johnson. Johnson's got to be able to get his arm back and not turn into that, but Johnson does a good job of taking advantage of what Zamaron was giving him. Zamaron's arm was pinned back, and he was almost turning into Johnson. Now Johnson's just trying to be able to settle this in and get himself the fall, and he will.
There it is.
St. Albert gets a pin there on the board. Nice job from Johnson. You know, being able to get a nice breakdown, stayed patient. Zamaron was turning into him, and as he's turning in, Johnson takes advantage, shoots a half through, and is able to get himself the fall. Brings St. Albert back into this 24-12. We're going to move now to 126.
Brody Pellet, I believe.
I'm going to believe so.
Yeah, Brody Pellet.
And Pellet's going to, and Red Oak's going to be open at 26.
And Dayton, they're putting Dayton Gussman in there.
Gussman's going to go up. We're going to go to 32 now.
Yeah, there you
go. So Gussman's going to wrestle 32 here. We'll see who St. Albert's going to send out.
Looks like it'll be Mazzella.
That's what it sounds like to me. But gosh, Aaron, you never know. That's what I keep this one ear open. I'm listening. It's like you said, the numbers thing's not a bad idea. List them all the numbers down.
And absolutely, it's a great idea.
The more and more I think about it, just a little number on the back and just tag it on a roster. Let's see.
I'm going with Mazzella.
Yep, I'm going to go with Mazzella. So Mazzella and Gussman. Gussman's a guy last year, I was thoroughly impressed with the way he was able to transform his body. Now, with the technique that he's had, and I know the improvement is probably great for him from his sophomore to a junior year. Goes in on a nice shot, lowers his elevation, needs to be able to get off his butt, does a great job of doing that, finishes off with a double. Nothing rewarded yet. Mazzella trying to be able to fight this off. Lengthy wrestler here at 132, trying to hang on this leg and get himself a stalemate. But Gussman needs to just continue to do a good job of keep moving in there. He's going to get himself a takedown for 3. Keeps the legs crossed and goes for a crossface. This is a nice job from Gussman, too. Just lowers the elevation as Mazzella's reaching, able to get down, get on a good shot, and now leads here 3-0. Has this leg pinned back, trying to roll on a wrist on the right side. Mazzella, a pretty lengthy wrestler here, now going to tight waist, looking to get himself in on a tilt. Going to try to roll through here, keep this arm trap, but not enough to be able to get Mazzella turned here. 1 minute left here in the first period. Still hand fighting down on bottom. Nice job from Mazzella, now getting up to his feet. Now going for a crotch lift here is Gussman. Have tried to return it down to the mat. Kind of a little awkward to be able to land. Was able to get himself back in a decent position here, and they're scrambling well here on the edge of the mat. Mazzella now in on a whizzer. Gussman's got to be able to know where he's at here. Slide out of bounds and get yourself a restart. Oh, I don't know where they get the one. Pretty close, I think Gussman may have been in control, but they're going to give Mazzella the escape there on the edge of the mat. And that's why you wrestle all the way till the edge.
That's
3-1, Gussman leads. Now coming to a front head and arm position is Mazzella. Does a nice job of getting a snap down on Gussman. That was pretty clean. with the length that he has, gets himself in a front headlock position, front head and arm, snaps it down onto the mat, gets himself a takedown, and Gussman tries to be able to get himself caught on a roll through, has his arm caught behind his back. Better be close there, potentially dangerous, but a nice job from Gussman just to continue wrestling here. Needs to get his hips up. 8 seconds left here. Doesn't want to give up any back points. Just needs to keep his hips up on the mat. Now trying to be able to roll through in position. Going to be a one swipe, but there's going to be nothing rewarded. Nice job from Gussman. You know, there's a lot of wrestlers that would panic in a situation like that. And Mazzella is in a lot of good spots and great angles to be able to get himself some swipes. But Gussman does a good job of continuing to roll through and just continue to fight till the edge of the period. 4-3 now is the lead here for Mazzella.
Over on the orange mat, Eli, Underwood leads 18-6 over on the orange mat.
It's going to be Gussman's choice. Gussman's going to go bottom. Chop and jam here for Mazzella. And, you know, Mazzella looks pretty comfortable on top. That he's a guy that's able to ride well, able to pin some arms back. Gussman needs to not be able to turn into this, needs to post the leg on the right side, build the base back up. But with the length here, especially at 32, helps Mazzella out. Slips in a leg now on the right side, looking for a three-quarter Nelson on Gussman. Gussman trying to be able to fight this off. Needs to be able to keep his head off the mat, try to be able to break this leg out, circle out of this. Minute 27 left here in the second period. Mazzella does a good job of riding here tough. Gussman now trying to break this leg out, doing a good job reaching inside on the foot. That's textbook right there from Gussman. Reach inside on the foot, try to be able to now slip out the back door and get himself a reversal. Now Mazzella trying to be able to roll through almost like a shin wizard tilt, but Gussman does a good job of getting back up to his feet. It almost might be better if he gets his one here, then goes for the takedown. Gets his one, still in a good position here with underhook on the left side. They're going to break out of it. Tied now here 4-4. Great match over here with Mazzella of St. Albert and Gussman of Red Oak. You know, with early season like this is where conditioning is going to come in, especially in these early matches. I like to see Gussman get back to his feet, being able to move quick and lower his elevation. He looks just a little flat-footed right now, and just as I said, he goes for a shot fake. 33 seconds left here in the second period. Inside collar tie is Mazzella. Going to pummel their way out of it. Now goes to a snap down as Mazzella. Gussman doing a good job trying to be able to get onto this leg. 20 seconds left here in a scramble position here in a seatbelt right now with a whizzer. Whizzering down hard as Mazzella. Gussman trying to be able to limp arm out of this. If he could almost pull this closer to his body, he might be able to catch himself in a good spot here.
4 seconds.
If Gussman can limp arm out of this, he could be able to get it, but there's the time.
That's it.
A nice job, you know, from Mazzella. The length that he's got, he's able to put in a good body whizzer, bring it down to the mat, try to be able to keep the arm pinned and not let Gussman be able to reach. And it's going to be tied here 4-4. And it's going to be Mazzella's choice. Mazzella's going to go bottom here. And one thing to note, too, the reversals are still 2 points. There's no 3 points for the reversal. That's just a takedown.
Okay.
Mazzella is going to be on bottom. Gussman will cover. Close to a caution. Trying to be able to get himself now cinched in on a tight waist. Going into a 2-on-1 here. Mazzella now up to his feet. Gussman trying to be able to look for a mat return. Does a smart thing and lets him go. 5-4. Mazzella of Leeds. Really can scramble really, really well. Now in on a collar tie. Breaks out of it. Still staying at the center. Gussman's got to be able to get onto his attacks here like you saw here in the first period. Doesn't need to get out front, head and arm with Mazzella. Obviously, you can see that's his go-to. Gussman shoots from a long ways, but is able to get inside, try to be able to work around the back. A neck wrench coming over from Mazzella, trying to be able to body over, but Gussman just needs to continue to roll through, and Mazzella does a great job of just knowing positions that he's good in and is able to scramble out of this. Minute 5 left here in this third period, and they're going to work out of bounds, and there's going to be that stall call. And that's, you know, and positions like that, if you can get on these underhooks, yeah, go on ahead and drive them out. Get yourself a stall call. That's huge here, especially with a minute 6. Gussman, again, just stays low in on a shot, but he needs to finish this low. The more he keeps elevating this, the more time it gets for Mazzella to be able to scramble here. I think it may benefit Gussman now more if he can get a quick finish, because Mazzella does a good job being able to hand fight, does it really good here. Staying on this leg. Now needs to be able to elevate this when he's got the chance. Going to be able to snatch down. Now just needs to reach back for this left leg. Mazzella now just shoving the head down of Gussman. 34 seconds left here. Gussman, a stalemate would probably be a good option here for Gussman, but now he's going to try to be able to get to this corner. 26 seconds left, and there's going to be a stalemate call. That's a good call. Gussman's doing a good job getting it on shots. There hasn't been really many shots here from Mazzella. Gussman's got to be able to push this pace here with 24 seconds left, keep himself alive in this match because he's got to be on the go, and it's got to be now. Inside collar tie for Gussman. Got to go with 15 here. Needs to get in on the underhooks here, get in on his ties. 14 seconds left. Shoots again. Mazzella goes for a reshot. 10 seconds left here. Gussman's got to be able to go. If he can almost just keep driving here, 5 seconds left. Gussman's going to get it around to a corner, trying to be able to finish this shot. 3 seconds left, and Mazzella's going to be able to hang on. What a great match out of both these guys. And that just shows for Mazzella right there that he's able to scramble and last in matches like these. Gussman probably had 5-6 more shots than Mazzella did, but just was not able to get to a corner and finishes them. Ends up losing that one 5-4. What a great match from both those guys.
Looks like Carson Vanskoy will be up. My neighbor.
There you go.
Carson Vanskoy up at 138.
Man, hasn't he grown up? My goodness.
He has. That is for sure.
Yeah, Carson Vanskoy at 138. Going to be going up against McCullough.
Ryan McCullough.
Ryan McCullough of St. Albert. Vanskoy, a sophomore. McCullough, a sophomore. Both here at 138. They're going to get ready here in the middle. They're going to shake hands, and they're going to go. Inside collar tie here for McCullough. Vanskoy trying to be able to get back in on his collar ties here. Now back to a right collar tie. Needs to be able to keep his head in a little better position here. Try to put a head in the temple. Try to be able to find your angles. McCullough now in. Vanskoy gets to himself to a front head and arm. Needs to snap this back. Don't snap into your legs. Needs to be able to snap this back. Now trying to get to a body whizzer. McCullough now in on a leg. Trying to be able to find his way to a corner. Vanskoy does a good job of being able to separate. Now needs to unlock his hand, shove the head to a crossface and work around, what he's trying to do. Now looking for this cradle, and Vanskoy's got the cradle locked up. Needs to put a knee into the side and bring this through. Continue with the crossface. He's going to get awarded the takedown. And Vanskoy, if he can bring his head off the mat, keep driving this to his knee. You want to bring his knee right to his forehead. You got to take your time with it, get your hands locked up, and does. Nice job from Vanskoy, looking to be able to get this fall, and it's there. Oh, he had a couple chances at it, too. Just wasn't able to get it called. Going to get at least 3 swipes out of that. 4 swipes. Going to get 4 near falls. Going to lead now here 7-0. Now McCullough now in on a leg. Vanskoy gets himself to a standing cradle. Needs to be able to bring it back to the other way. And McCullough does a good job scrambling out of this. Still has this leg locked. Still in position here is McCullough, and just needs to pop his head out the side, and he's going to get the reversal for 2. You do not need to reach back as Vanskoy, but he's going to get lucky with this here. He's got himself kind of a halfway Peterson locked up. Needs to move back to get some swipes here to be able to get the fall, and he might get it here with 1-2 seconds left. And he's not going to be able to get it, but he's going to get 3 swipes, or going to get now 5 swipes out of it. It's going to be 4. But, Vanskoy, the head was leaking down a little bit for McCullough. Vanskoy is able to reach back, hang on to a leg, and go straight back. Now going to be able to lead 9-2. I think the score may be a little bit wrong. He gets 4 near fall, so he has a 3 takedown, and gets a 4 near fall. So that brings it to 7, and then gets another 4 near fall that should be able to bring it to 13-2. Should be what the score should be, and that's what's going to be the change.
All right. So, Eli, here's what we're going to do. We're going to step away on the radio side of things for a minute. We're going to continue online. We're going to step away on the radio side of things for a minute, and we will be back, though, in just a few minutes on our radio side of things. We'll be back after this.
It looks like they're going to get that score adjusted, and but you also got to get it right on Track Wrestling as well. And it looks like they will. They're going to go back to the center. It's going to be neutral position here for McCullough. And now we're back here at the center. Starting off the second period, McCullough gets to a front head and arm. Vanscoy does a good job now going down to a leg. Needs to be able to finish off with a double. He's going to finish off here with this. No points awarded yet. Vanscoy arms trapped. He needs to peek his head out the backside here. Nice job here from McCullough being able to fight this off. Vanscoy now trying to be able to switch off to a double. He can submarine this through and try to be able to finish this off. Needs to be able to flip over on the leg. There's going to be the takedown for 3. Nice job from Vanscoy. Now going to lead 16-2. Going to get a mat return back down to the mat. Going for a cross-face cradle. One more turn here will end this match with a tech fall. 16-2 is our lead. Now McCullough does a good job getting himself in reversal. Vanscoy really coming out far in front, trying to be able to get this cradle. Not going to be able to do it. And he's going to let Vanscoy up. 17-4 now is our score. Vanscoy trying to be able to block the hits off here. Going to be able to now go for a crossface. Needs to be able to work around the back. You know, Vanscoy really likes this cradle, but this might be an opportunity where you just get this crossface and work for your points, because now McCullough is in on a leg here on Vanscoy. Nothing rewarded yet. McCullough is going to work his way around the back and get himself another takedown for 3. And again, it seems like it is a 10-point match, but it's able to get a lot closer with this 3-point takedown. Now the score 17-7, and Vanscoy trying to reach back on the head. Not going to work here this time. 20 seconds left, and McCullough's riding tough on top, down 17-7. Vanscoy's got to be able to get his head off the mat here, looking for a Peterson roll, and he's going to pop it straight back again. Not going to be able to get on this time. That's a really risky move too as well, especially when you're reaching back. You're exposing yourself. But, you know, with McCullough leaving his head down like that, it could work every now and then for Vanscoy.
All right.
It's going to be McCullough's choice. 17-7 our score. McCullough's going to choose bottom.
Over on the orange mat, Underwood leads 30-10. They're at 132 on that mat, Eli.
Vanscoy covers on top. There's going to be that's a lock, close to a locked hands call that they may have missed. But McCullough's able to give it to his feet. Vanscoy working to be able to give himself a mat return in will. Now going for a half. Goes back down onto the hands, and it's going to be a locked hands call here on Vanscoy. Needs to be able to get a mat return so it's not a free move. And he's going to get himself another point here as well. Oh, no, he doesn't. Vanscoy does a good job getting himself back down on the mat to not give up the free move. But it's going to now be 17-8. Vanscoy has the mat return down, and as he's still got a knee on the mat, he locked up the hands. And he's going to let McCullough up here, which I think is a smart move, but now brings the score 17-9. Minute 34 left here in this third period. Inside collar time for McCullough. Now goes for a duck under. Vanscoy circles out of it. Now McCullough does a good job trying to bounce the head off the mat, but Vanscoy's in on a leg, needs a limp arm out, finish this through. Does a good job getting the takedown. That score should be 20-9. It shows 10-9, but it is 20-9. Vanscoy really trying to go heavy on this cradle here, but that's where he gets his arm caught out in front and needs to be able to get his arms back behind the hips, behind the armpits of McCullough. Now going out for a crossface. 54 seconds left here. 20-9 is our score. McCullough does a good job keeping the arm here. Vanscoy now working in on the leg. Vanscoy trying to be able to get this cradle off. He's going to get it. There's back points awarded. He's going to get at least 2, but McCullough does a good job limping out of this. This has just been a scramble match here that we're rambling with. And McCullough now gets himself in a crossface and brings Vanscoy back. Vanscoy's got to be able to fight. Only 27 seconds left here. The score 23-11. Just needs to be able to fight because Vanscoy's definitely going for the pin, McCullough's going for the pin, but he's got this locked in here pretty tight. Needs to be able to flatten out. Vanscoy's just got to be able to continue to fight, keep his arm off the mat.
10 seconds.
10 seconds left here. Just does not need to get turned. Just don't get turned here. Going to try to bridge out of this. 3 seconds. And Van Stroy's going to escape out of this one. I mean, there's a lot of just a lot of scrambling back and forth. The score should be 23-15. It's not 13-15. I don't know really how that got changed.
Yeah.
Because it said it wouldn't let him go above 20. So it was 23-15. And that's going to be the final. And they're going to shake hands here.
Van Scoy gets the victory.
He gets, I mean, what a scramble. You know, Van Scoy really going heavy on the crossface. But, you know, McCullough does a good job trying to be able to continue to roll through. But, you know, there's a lot of good things you can take from that match. But also you can get a lot of learning there. Be able to try to be able to work your way around the arms for both these wrestlers. Don't need to stay out in front as much and continue to roll through. I'm sure they'll watch that back on tape.
Absolutely. So moving to 144, Eli?
Yeah, 144. Let's see who they send up.
Judah York. And for Red Oak, that's not Kyler Sandholm.
And
Landon Gibbs of Red Oak.
And Gibbs of Red Oak. I don't know. This is a
Landon Gibbs of Red Oak, and
I wonder what Gibbs. I wonder what Gibbs weighed in at, because if he weighed in at 26, he can't bump up that far and wrestle 24. But he must be weighing obviously way more than 26, and he's coming up to 44. So Gibbs of Red Oak and York of St. Albert in on the collar tie is York. You know, goes down to a reshot. Here's Gibbs. They're going to stay back onto their feet. Circling here on the edge of the mat, goes to an underhook as Gibbs. Now goes to a fireman's carry. Does a nice job with this fireman's carry. That's one of the best moves in the book, in my opinion, and a nice job from Gibbs. Be able to get inside tight, get himself on a fireman's carry, now trying to work in some wrist. Minute 25 left here in this first period. Now in on a spiral, bear claw to a spiral ride, trying to be able to flatten out Gibbs here, get himself bellied down. York doing a good job continuing to try to circle his way out, but Gibbs trying to put now the pressure forward here. Now rolling in on the wrist, hand fighting in tight as York. Gibbs trying to be able to bump these hips down. York stands up to his feet. Gibbs trying to get him at return. We'll get him at return here. Now working in on a tight waist to an arm here on the right side. 50 seconds left here in this first period. 28-21. Red Oak leads here in the duel with a 3-0 lead here from Gibbs with 44 seconds left in the first. Now going in on a back up to their feet here is Gibbs and York. Gibbs trying to be able to get a mat return. Going to have to do it pretty quickly or a stall call is going to be coming. York just needs to stay on the mat. The stall call is going to be coming quick, and he wasn't able to get it. And then down to a lock hands call. Ann's going to get the one for the free move. So that's going to be 2 points out of there. York now in on a shot, trying to be able to get himself to the corner. Gibbs trying to be able to bring his hips back down on the mat. York elevates up this single leg, tries to step out in front and through, and is able to get himself the takedown. Now going to lead here 5-3 with 3 seconds left here in the first period. Now in on a half Nelson on the right side, and that's going to do it here for the first period. You know, Gibbs came down, locked his hands, was able to get the free move out of the deal with York, and was able to take advantage. Now flips this lead here 5-3. It looks like we got blood time here for Gibbs.
All right, I'm going to hop over to the orange mat, Eli. Not sure who is on the mat over there, but it's at 138, it looks like.
Yeah, Denison right here is in on a nice double leg, but Underwood's able to scramble themselves out of it. But then it now goes to a sucker drag here, a smooth sucker drag there coming from Underwood. Is able to get himself the 3, and they're going to go out of bounds. Nice scramble there. You know, Denison was in a great position on this double leg, but a good job from Underwood continuing to scramble, tries to work his way around, and is able to get himself the takedown as Underwood after that sucker drag. Leads here 3-0. He's going to let up Denison here at 138. I'm going to assume that it's the vault of Underwood, and it's Gravy. Or Grieve. I don't know. What is it? You tell me, Aaron. I'm terrible with the last names again. At 138 here for Denison. Is that Grave?
For Denison, 138. Yeah. Grave, I would say?
I would say Grave. I'm not going to say
that's
Gravy.
That's what I would say Grave. That's where I would go with.
Let's go with Grave.
Yeah.
And again, we have the vault
of
Underwood in on a collar tie here on the right side is Grave. pushing back and forward here. Now goes down for a shot. Still staying on their feet. 50 seconds left here in this first period. It looks like we're going to get action back going here on the black mat.
Back over to our, I think blood time's over, so hop back to our black mat. Here we go now. So thanks for listening on KCSI. You can go over to our website, kcsifm.com, and catch it there. Again, we're kind of staying with the Red Oak Tigers here this evening on the black mat as we move along through, and picking up some over on the orange mat as well. Here we go, Eli.
Chop and jam here on the left side for Gibbs. Trying to pin down on this arms. York's able to stand up to his feet. Trying to be able to hand fight out of this here. They're going to be close to the edge of the mat. Stall call is going to be coming here quickly if Graves doesn't get the return and is able to give up the one, which is a smart move. Leads now 6-3 here for York over Gibbs. Heavy hand fighting. Here is York. Inside tie for York as well. Minute 32 shot attempt here from York from a distance away. Gibbs trying to be able to get it out in front here, trying to get a front head and arm position, but a nice job is York trying to be able to get this down to the edge of the mat, but Gibbs doing a good job getting his legs out back, free hipping in. Some great defense there. Another shot attempt coming from York. Minute left here in the second period, wrestling on the edge of the mat. Front head and arm here for Gibbs. York's trying to work his way around the corner in a cow catch position here is Gibbs. No points awarded yet, and they're going to go out of bounds. Nice job there for both these guys. Good defensive wrestling, and York doing a good job trying to be able to continue to circle and get himself in on a shot. And they're going to be both back on their feet. Heavy collar tie on the right side. Shot attempt here. Now going to the fireman's again. Got to be able to just continue to keep that arm and roll through now. Or now he can hip in and try to hip over and finish this off with a double, but York doing a good job of just now hitting onto this neck wrench. Nothing rewarded yet. Gibbs still having this arm out in front. York does a good job of keeping the heavy hips, fending this off. He's able to get himself a takedown for three. Now trying to lock up this far side cradle. And there's going to be some swipes. He's got it locked over. 18 seconds left here. Gibbs doing a great job fighting off his back. Just needs a limp arm out, get his head out the back door, and get himself the reversal here, especially with 10 seconds left. That's what he needs to do, is get his points first. Get the points here first. Nothing rewarded yet. 4 seconds left. He's at least going to get one out of this. And now the score is going to be 13-4. In a position like that, Gibbs just needs to post that hand out, pop his head, and just continue to keep moving his feet. And it's going to be a 13-4 score now here. York leads.
All right.
And they're going to be back onto their feet.
Getting into the third period now.
Heavy collar tie on the right side. You know what? It's been good shot attempts here from Gibbs. Just got to be able to finish it. Olympic headlock here throw coming from York. He's able to step through on this one. Puts Gibbs onto his back. Gibbs needs to continue to roll through. He should, cinch on this head here and keep rolling through. But you got to use the momentum to continue to roll through. But York does a good job of settling his hips down. He's going to get some swipes out of this one. He's going to get 3 near fall, 3 for the takedown. Now going to lead 19-4. That's going to be it for a tech fall. And that will do it here in the third period. And that 3-point takedown, that makes these matches go pretty quick if you got it going. York's able to step through on this Olympic headlock. And that's going to do it. Nice job from York picking up that victory, getting this duel just a little bit closer here now.
Move up to 150 now, Eli, it looks like.
Yeah, we're going to go to 150. Let me hear a name here. It's going to be Caleb Ransom of Red Oak.
Yep. Caleb Ransom and Sam Raymond.
Yep, and I think Sam Raymond of... Oh, it's going to be Micah
Hutchinson.
So it's going to be Hutchinson of St. Albert here at 150. And it's going to be Caleb Ransom of Red Oak. They're going to shake hands here in the middle. Ransom and Hutchinson. Or excuse me, was that right, Aaron? Is it Hutchinson?
Yeah, Micah Hutchinson from St. Albert.
So Hutchinson here at 50. Bumping up here from 44, and Ransom of Red Oak. And on a collar tie here is Ransom with an underhook here on the left side. Hutchinson trying to be able to fight this thing off here with some hand fighting. does a good job keeping that hand free here as Ransom trying to be able to hike up this underhook, and he really should just continue to hike it up. Hutchinson does a good job circling out of it, now getting to his tie here on the inside, now going to a front head and arm. And they're going to go, oh, no, they're not out of bounds. That's the other mat. Staying here wrestling on the outside circle of the mat. Minute 15 left here in this first period. 28-26, Red Oak leads over St. Albert. Collar tie here on the right side for Hutchinson. Ransom trying to be able to, needs to continue to circle, shoots for a far outside single. Needs to be able to hit himself to a corner. Nice body whizzer here from Hutchinson. Now goes himself to a crossface. Hutchinson trying to be able to reach up to go to the body. Can continue this, just keep this bear hug. Bring it back down the mat. Going to get himself a takedown for 3. And a great mat return there for Hutchinson. Does a good job getting himself a takedown. You know, shoots a far outside single. Builds back up to his feet. Is able to work his way around, keep in the body lock tight. Is able to get himself a nice takedown for 3 and leads here with 30 seconds left in the first period. Now throwing in a leg here on the right side. Trying to flatten out Hutchinson here, rolling in a wrist on the right. 24 seconds left here in this first period. Needs to be careful here, needs to sink his hips back. Nice job there from Ransom. Hutchinson's opens himself up a little bit, now goes into this half, but Hutchinson's able to elbow down hard. 10 seconds left here in this first period. Trying to be able to fight off the fingers here is Hutchinson, and he will with 3 seconds left here. Ransom riding tough on top, now goes for the far side cradle. And there's going to be the end of the first period for you with Ransom leading 3-0 over Hutchinson.
Over on the orange mat, Eli, it is Underwood over Denison 34-10. Over on the orange mat.
It's going to be Hutchinson's choice. Hutchinson's going to choose neutral. Collar tie on the right side for Ransom. Lowers his elevation, goes with a head tap here, continues to circle, shoots a nice blast double, elevates it right back down to the mat. Great shot there from Ransom. He's going to get back points rewarded as well. Should have been at least 2 swipes out of that, but that was just textbook there from Hutchinson. Does a good job lowering his elevation, has a suck back attempt here. Hutchinson rolls out. But again, that shot was great. Was able to pop the arms, lower the elevation, just continue to drive through, gets himself a nice takedown and leads here 6-0. Chop and jam here on the left side. Now going to hop over, maybe run himself a half. Has the wrist here on the left. Needs to be able to bump these hips down, especially when Hutchinson's hanging his head low. Now goes down. His cradle's there if he wants it. But now goes for a head lever. Needs to bump Hutchinson back down to the mat. And Hutchinson does a good job just standing up to his feet. It's a little uncomfortable position for Ransom, and Hutchinson's able to get himself out of it. Nice low single from Hutchinson. Ransom trying to be able to shove the head down. Ransom elevates it. Now going for a cradle. And now this is an attempt from Ransom that goes for the roll through. And it's just that almost gives me nightmares, that roll through from the state tournament that we coached at last year. It's a move that can be rewarding if you can do it, but gosh, you got to hit it just right. But no pain out of it. And Ransom's able to get himself down to a leg. 25 seconds left here. Is going to get himself a reversal for 2. Is going to lead now here 8-4. Hutchinson's back up to his feet, trying to be able to break the hands here. Ransom goes back for a mat return, but sits down to his butt. Hutchinson takes advantage of it. Now going for a crossface with 11 seconds left. Going to try to get himself the reversal, and it's going to be there for 2. And then it's going to be back there for 1 for Ransom with the escape. Back and forth match here. 9-6 is the lead here. And that's going to be the end of the second.
There you go.
A lot of back and forth stuff here. And you can tell there's some December wrestling that's still going on here. Just little mistakes here that where you're sitting down to your butt when you should continue to keep scooting, staying off your hip, keeps you in better position. 9-6 though our score. Again, another low shot attempt here from Ransom. Hutchinson slips out of that. Collar tie on the right side here for Ransom. Hutchinson looking for that right wrist. He's able to grab this wrist. Breaks out of it. Collar tie on the right side. Going for a slide by is Ransom. Wrestling here on the edge of the mat. Pressing out of bounds here. Has both wrists. Now goes for a great high crotch. And there's going to be the takedown for 3. Nice job from Ransom. And then does a great mat return. Needs to keep these legs split. Nice job from Ransom. Has the arm, slides it by, opens him up, creates the angle he wants. Hits a great slide by high crotch. Leads now here 12-6 with 1:10 left here in this third period. Chop and jam on the left side. Now goes for a half on the other. Going to let Hutchinson back up, and he's going for the milkshake. That's what we call that. And they're going to go out of bounds, and that's what kind of happens when you get a wrestle on the edge of the mat. The gym floor is going to come into play.
They ended up on the hardwood, Eli.
That's right.
They ended up on the hardwood.
And what I mean by the milkshake there is that Hutchinson stands right up to his feet, and now again here he's in on a shot right off the whistle. 7-12 is our score. Right off the whistle, going in on a single leg here, trying to be able to finish this off with a double. Ransom needs to keep his hips back. Hutchinson locks up the legs here, trying to be able to drive this through. Monkey roll coming through from Ransom. Needs to be able to keep his hips up. Brings his foot across his face, almost uses his foot as a cross face, and he's going to be able to get, not rewarded yet, but there's going to be the takedown for 3. Now going in for a near side cradle, now just picks up the ankle. 20 seconds left, 15-7 is our score. Now going for the cross face. Back points here, and a pin would be huge, especially in this team. Now goes for the cradle, has Hutchinson on his back, going to get some back swipes. 18-7 is our lead, and looks like Ransom's going to pull this one out. Great all-around match from both these guys. Both of those two wrestlers in awkward positions, able to roll themselves through, and Ransom's going to be able to pick up the victory here for Red Oak, 18-7.
There you go.
And now we're going to go to Jackson Purdue at 157. And St. Albert looks like they're going to send out Jonah Shea.
We'll see if we get the.
No,
it's
going to be Sam
Raymond. Sam Raymond.
So Sam Raymond will head out there at 157 for St. Albert.
Over on the orange mat, Eli. They're at 144. Underwood with the lead, 38-10 over on the orange mat.
So Raymond of St. Albert, Purdue of Red Oak. Collar tie here on the right side for Purdue. Raymond breaks out of it, still here at the center circle. Raymond with a front head and arm, trying to be able to snap down on the mat here of Purdue. Gets Purdue down to his knees here. Purdue trying to be able to circle, keep his head high. Raymond looking for a head in the hole. Wrestling tough here. Purdue doing a good job keeping his legs separated out. He could try to be able to hit a sucker drag here if he can, but Raymond's got that arm locked up of Purdue, going to lock up this cradle here on the edge of the mat, trying to be able to run this thing through, and they're going to go out of bounds on the side of the mat. Nice job there from Raymond. Was it trying to be able to get the front head and arm, snaps it down, stays patient, works his way around, gets front head in the arm, gets into the hole position here. Gets himself a takedown, but now going to let up Purdue. 3-1, here's the score. Purdue with a collar tie on the right side. Goes to an underhook on the left. Nice job there from Raymond getting in tight on the shot. Purdue trying to be able to work his way out with a sprawl. Give me another takedown here for Raymond. Leads now here 6-1 with 58 seconds left. Rolling a wrist on the left side. Purdue's got to be able to keep his head off the mat. There's some heavy hips here from Raymond. Needs to be able to build back up to a good base. Bear claw ride here from Raymond. Rolling a wrist now on the left side. Trying to be able to pin this arm back. Does a great job of that. Now going for a butcher. Still working here on this arm here. Trying to run this thing through is Raymond. 32 seconds left here in this first period. Now try to be able to keep this legal, pin the arm back here of Purdue. Now goes to a half Nelson. Nice job from Raymond. Purdue's trying to be able to fight off his back here, but when he's got that back arm locked up here, it's pretty tight to get out of this. Purdue with 14 seconds left, got to continue to fight. Raymond trying to be able to keep his pressure down here. Purdue fighting hard off his back, just got a short time. Needs to be able to fight off this back here with 2 seconds left, and it looks like he will. Nice job there from Purdue to be able to fight, but Raymond does a good job pinning the arm back. And you know what's even better, when you can pin the arm back and then run through on the half Nelson, not much you're going to be able to defend there, and he's able to get his swipes and now leads here 10-1. It's going to be Raymond's choice. Raymond's going to choose neutral.
Over on the orange mat, Eli, it's Underwood with the lead over Denison, 44-10.
Hand fighting here in the center of the map. Like to see Purdue to be able to get in on his shots. Raymond's been doing a good job of finding the angles. Nice elbow off from Purdue. Raymond putting the pressure forward. Going to go back to the center. 10-1 again our score. Raymond of St. Albert leads. Shot attempt from Purdue. Raymond does a good job getting to the front head and arm. Now it's going for a head in the hole here. Purdue's got to be able to try to fight this thing off here by being able to extend his legs, get his arm back here. Needs to hand fight a little bit down in a position like this. Oh, it's going to be a pretty quick stalemate too as well. Kind of got caught sitting on his leg. And Purdue gets out of that and is able to get back onto his feet. Needs to be able to hit his shots here. Goes down with a knee slap. And again, front head and arm position here for Raymond. Now goes for the head in the hole. Works his way around, trying to be able to split the legs here. Purdue is going to get himself another takedown for 3 and leads here 13-1. One turn here of 4 will end it, but it's going to let Purdue up. 13-2 now our score. Been real impressed with Raymond here, especially been on the move here with his front head and arm. It looks like a St. Albert staple here. Seen every single wrestler go with a front head and arm position, looking for a head in the hole. 45 seconds left here in the second. Purdue got to be able to find himself a shot attempt here. Another front head and arm position here for Raymond. 38 seconds left. Purdue's got to keep the head up here. Not going to be able to get it. Now shoving the head down. You know, he definitely had a chance to get a takedown there. But lets Purdue back up. Gives Purdue this chance here. That's what he needs to be able to have, is to continue to be able to go. Nice shot attempt there from Raymond. And he's not going to finish the shot. I don't know if I can't say after 17 odd some years of being involved in wrestling that he doesn't score. But right there, he decides to score. He's going to get a half. No back swipes. But I can't say it. He had almost 3 shots where he was in on the points and was able to get himself a takedown. But instead of finishing the shot, he lets him go. And that's something I can't say I've ever seen, but gives Purdue the life that he needs right here. It's going to be a caution on Raymond.
That is the third period here.
And this is where Purdue's pretty good. You know, be able to be on top, try to be able to get himself the opportunity. Raymond's going to get himself the escape, and that's going to do it here for a tech fall. But that's just it, you know, and Purdue wasn't able to get on his shots too much. Raymond did a good job of keeping the pressure, continuing to shoot, but I guess you see something new. But he's able to get the tech fall for St. Albert and brings us 32-31.
All right. Okay, Eli. Advancing on now to 165. We'll see if we can.
And I don't know if
that's Kyson Sickles for Red Oak.
And it looks like
it might be open.
Yeah, I think
St.
it
Albert.
looks like St. Albert's going to be open at 65.
Yep. That's what would appear.
And Sickles going to be able to take the point. Or
St. Albert is open.
So is that Jackson or Curtis Jackson?
This is Adam Byer coming up for the Tigers.
Yep. Byer of Red Oak. Good to be able to see him back on the mat, especially, you know, after making that state appearance of sophomore year. You know, really good sophomore year. Junior year had to be able to sit out. Had a great football career. Just slugged to the Shrine Bowl, I just saw.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's an awesome accomplishment, but great to see him back on the mat here for his senior year. He's definitely a guy to be able to watch here.
You got Andrew Beckman for St. Albert.
Beckman of St. Albert. Byer of Red Oak goes to a front head and arm. Goes to an underhook here on the left side, trying to be able to bring this pressure in forward. Now just goes himself right into a cow catcher position, gets himself a takedown here for 3. Now going inside to a tilt here is Byer. Going to get some more swipes out of this. Going to get 4 near fall. Now is going to lead here 7-0. Goes into a low single here again. Nice job there from Byer. Gets himself the takedown. Going to get another 3-point score here. Now it's going to lead here 10-1. Now 10-2, excuse me. Now going in for a nice blast double. Nice job from Byer. Gets himself another takedown. Going to lead 13-2 does a great job just continuing to move his feet, shoots blast doubles, some low singles, good shot fakes. 13-3 here, our score. Now going to a collar tie here on the right side. Now go again for another outside single. Does a nice job trying to be able to work this way around. Get himself another takedown for 3. Going to lead now 16-3. Now trying to pin this arm back. Going to be close to keeping it legal. Now out in front with a cow catcher. Beckman trying to be able to fend this off. Head in the hole now here, looking for this bow and arrow cradle. Trying to bow this thing up here. Now not going to be able to get it. Beckman does a good job trying to fight off the hands. Now rolling in on the wrist. 25 seconds left here, 16-3. Beyer leads. Now going again for tilt. Beckman rolls through on this. Now going for a ball and chain. Now trying to be able to slip this back and get himself a bar tilt here. Stepping through on this. 6 seconds left here in this first period, and Beyer's been able to do a good job to just wrestle through tough positions and find shots. You know, there's some awkward angles where he's shooting at, and he's able to finish the shots, which is great.
Yeah. Adam Beyer is a competitor in whatever he does.
Absolutely.
I mean, just the way he takes the mat. I mean, he's a competitor.
Guy that wants to win. That's
Yep.
exactly what you want here in your wrestling room. Back to a 2-on-1. Beckman chose neutral. Goes to a collar tie here on the left side. Now here to a front head and arm. Breaks out of it here. Minute 46 left. Now goes to another blast double. Nice job there from Beyer. Able to cross over the feet. Gets himself a takedown for 3. Now looking to be able to finish this off with a half. Needs to be able to finish this off with a half and get himself a pin. Going to get some more swipes here. He's got to be able to finish with this pin. Needs to grab this arm back here. And he will. Trying to be able to put the pressure down. Beyer trying to be able to get himself in a good position. Needs to just bring his hips back down on the mat. And then he's going to be able to get the fall. Nice job there from Beyer.
Yep.
Does a good job just, finding shots, getting himself good chances. Seeing him get himself the fall. That's going to bring Leto to a 44-31 lead. And I think that's going to then go to 175. Oh, that was 175, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was 175. We'll see what comes up
And I think
here.
that's going to be it for that first duel here.
All right, over on the orange mat, Eli. So Red Oak would get the victory. 44-31 over on the orange mat. Underwood with the big lead. Team score 62-10. If I can hop over to the orange mat if you happen to be watching online. Thanks for joining us, too. We're going to step away for just a second on our radio side of things, and we'll be back after this. Welcome back to Red Oak Orange Gymnasium. Wrestling action here on KCSI. Eli, so we're at a bit of a break here where Red Oak got the victory over St. Albert in that first duel there over on the orange mat. And if you're watching online, by the way, we can hop over there on the orange mat if you're watching online. Again, kind of the evening we're keeping up with what's going on with Red Oak.
Yep.
Underwood leads 62-10, and they're in the third period. I think this is the last.
Yeah, last
here.
match here. Their second period, 3-1 that or 4-0 that score over there. But and again, Underwood, a traditionally sound program they have over there, and they're consistent year in, year out. And that's especially what you want in your programs is consistency, and and that's what Red Oak's starting to have too as well here. They've had some great programs. Coach Podliska does a great job over there with his kids, and and especially coaches even on a higher stage too as well. But a great job here winning that first duel in the Hawkeye 10. And it helps as well bring that confidence, especially if you got a full lineup, you got a chance with everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we're going to let that roll through with the recent JV matches there. We had one JV match here, Red Oak and Underwood. It was over pretty quick, honestly.
Yeah, it was a quick match that went on right through there, and then we'll get on to the next duel. And I want to say the next duel then on the black mat, your youth cheerleader is actually going to perform right after this round. And then the second round will be Red Oak and Denison, St. Albert Underwood. There'll be Red Oak Underwood, St. Albert Denison to finish it off.
All right. So we'll continue to you can hop over. We're not having commentary on the orange mat, and let's just here and there, but it'll be live. You can watch it if you wish.
Absolutely.
On air, on radio, we're going to take a break. And if you wish to watch, here's how you would do it, Eli. Go to kcsifm.com and scroll down. There's a link right there, and you can watch it. You can do a little pop-out player, make it full screen, whatever you want to do.
There you go.
Make yourself happy.
Absolutely. Always great to be able to watch some wrestling here.
Did you grab any popcorn?
I did not.
No.
I don't know. I called you, and you told me just the water.
Wow,
and I might have to be able to send a runner down there or something.
Now I'm kind of wanting some popcorn.
I know. Maybe we get Melanie or Allie back.
We'll see.
Call them from the house and get some down at the concession stand here.
But, yep, good crowd. Here.
Absolutely.
Just kind of continuing to build here through the evening. Here, I see you.
What's the basketball schedule look like this week? Is that
so tomorrow night, by the way, we will be heading to Harlan. Matt Davis and myself, head to Harlan. Doubleheader, boy, girl, Red Oak and Harlan tomorrow night. And that, like I said, is in Harlan. So then it's break.
Then it's break.
It's pretty much a break. Are you ready for break?
I am
Coach?
ready for break. It's been a great first semester of the school year. And now I think both teachers and students are ready for that break. And, it's nice with Christmas landing in the middle of the week, New Year and in the middle of the week, we get like an extra 4 days off. So
you have a full 2 weeks, don't you?
So you got 16 total days. So
whoa,
that's a great sign to be able to have. So and then we go back to having Mondays off. So
what do you have a tomorrow? Watching the movies.
We're just having a nice
Christmas party. What are you doing?
Nice free day. I think we call it the Elf Olympics is what we have. So there's a bunch of games that go on throughout the school and with our connections groups, and we get out at 11:15.
There you go.
Yeah, so it's
Did you notice that Coach Kipley has on a Grinch shirt? And then today was Grinchmas or something like that. So they had everybody. I noticed a whole bunch of Grinch attire as we walked in here.
And that's something too that I just don't have that much Christmas attire, to be honest. Like
you got to step up your game.
I know I've got like one thing, but I just don't have all that much anymore. But I do got to step up my game because I look lame when I go to school. So
got to step up your game. You got a kind of an exciting one going on over here on the orange mat, Eli.
Yeah, 9 to. Actually, I think it should be. Yeah, now it's going to be a 9-9 here with
these guys are getting
43 seconds left here. Great shot here. Attempt coming from Underwood. Trying to hit this corner and get himself the takedown for 3. And, I think Denison actually had a pretty hefty lead, too, as well.
Yeah.
Now trying to be able to finish this off with a pin with 30 seconds left. And I think he's going to be able to finish this off.
There it is. Oh, that was exciting.
From being down from that lead to be able to finish that off, that's what you have in programs like that, too, as well with Underwood. It was a great job finishing that match.
All right. We're going to take a break on air, and we'll be back. Aaron West along with Eli Bells. And some junior varsity matches taking place here. In between matches in round one, it was Red Oak over St. Albert, and Underwood gets the victory 68-10 over Denison in that opening round or opening duel there. Underwood with the victory 68-10. After this round, Eli, there will be a youth cheerleader performance that will take place. Then it will be Red Oak and Denison and St. Albert and Underwood. And then finishing it off this evening, Red Oak and Underwood and St. Albert and Denison. That's kind of the schedule of events here this evening. But we do have some junior varsity matches that are taking place now on the mat. So,
yep, roll right along with that, and then have some. Like we said, it's going to be the next duel: Red Oak versus Denison over here on the black mat. And I didn't get the final score of that first victory, but Red Oak was able to get the victory over St. Albert in that first duel. And we'll be moving on here shortly.
Yep, absolutely. Would also remind you, if you're tuning in, that the Page County Board of Supervisors meeting this evening. There will be a full report later on this evening. Jerry covering that. And there will be a full report later on this evening or early tomorrow morning from that as well. So if you're tuning in for that, there you go. Windy today, Eli.
Oh, my goodness. Driving my truck over here, I thought I was going to blow off the road. But then when I start heading east or start heading – where am I heading? West. I started heading west. I was just fine, getting good gas mileage there.
So it was windy today. It's going to be windy tonight. Cold, wind chills around 0 overnight tonight potentially, and then tomorrow morning again wind chills around 0. It's going to be cold tomorrow, but it does warm just a bit for the weekend. So
maybe we can just get some really frigid temps. Might be able to cancel school, get an extra day of break, right? I mean, geez, maybe I shouldn't be wishing on that.
No,
but
you got 2 weeks. I wouldn't don't get greedy.
I know.
You got 2 weeks.
That's a problem sometimes. I may get a little greedy with that. So. But no, it'll be good. And then it's a interesting season. You get a little break from your sport, a little extra practice in, kind of a tale of 2 seasons, and that's where you start to see teams thrive.
So wrestling is such a physical, intense sport. Conditioning is a huge part of that, Eli. And you mentioned December wrestling where it's early on.
Yes.
Probably some conditioning things there, some technique things there that are still being worked out, right?
Absolutely, and it's a completely different style of conditioning. It's funny you say that. We had the mats out over there in Sydney today, and it was just funny watching a couple of basketball players that are in some really good basketball shape, and they start getting into a little bit of some wrestling matches, and they're like, I am not in shape for this.
I said it
is a completely different style, and it's gritty, it's tough, and and that's where it's nice to get to a break like this. And then, with the new rule this year, which is really nice, is you get your 2 pounds no matter what. So you used to, let's say if I was, this is me saying, say if I was cutting to 138, all right, for example. If my body comp says, hey, by the time you get after Christmas break, there's a whole schedule plan, so you can only cut a certain amount of weight to be able to keep it safe. It's usually around 1.5 pounds, pound-ish a week. But the nice thing now is you used to have to make that weight the first time, and then you would get your 2 pounds. Now, if once Christmas is over, and even if I haven't made 138, I can weigh 140 and be able to wrestle. So that helps these kids out a lot too, which is huge because over Christmas you kind of want to eat. You want to have that break over that time. So you're able to get that 2 pounds, which will help these kids out a lot.
Absolutely. We're going to step away on our radio side. Thanks for joining us. And again, make note of our sponsors that make it possible for us to be here. If you hop over to our website and go to kcsifm.com, we will have the youth cheerleader performance, and you can check that out there. But we're going to step away on the radio side. We'll be back. Underwood gets the victory 68-10 on the orange mat. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back after this. Back to Red Oak, Aaron West along with Eli Bells.
That's right.
The youth cheerleader performance has concluded.
Yep.
I think that was from the movie Spirit.
You know,
that last little routine there.
You know, I can't tell you the last time I watched Spirit. So
long time ago.
It probably was a long time ago.
Now don't quote me on that, but I think.
You know, my brother Isaac probably would know. He's
would
big.
He?
Oh yeah.
Did he like the movie Spirit? Did he?
Is that Disney?
I think it's Disney.
I think it's Disney.
Yeah,
He's a Disney.
And there was a horse from there.
Yeah. Yes, that would be that. But it's
ask Allie about
Yes,
Spirit.
she will. I'm sure she'll know plenty about it.
Ask Allie about that.
Yeah. You know, one conversation even that I wish Matt Davis was here for too is the new JUCO rule today. Did you end up seeing that?
What happened with that?
I'm sure he would have a huge deal with that. You now can go to junior college, and you'll have 0 years of eligibility taken away from you.
What?
So you can play sports up to 6 years now. So what's crazy is this one guy put out like a wrestling, and that's where it kind of brings back into this. He put out a wrestling deal that shows that you could wrestle, if granted, 12 years in college.
No way.
You could go wrestle 2 years at JUCO.
And it doesn't count against your eligibility.
Correct. So you could take a red shirt at JUCO if that's allowed. Take a red shirt at JUCO, wrestle your 2 years, take a red shirt again. So then you're at your 4. Then you would wrestle. Then you would take an Olympic red shirt. Then you would take a medical red shirt, and then you'd wrestle your 2 more years, and then there's like another red shirt down the line. It's wild. I mean, he's so you could be in college for 12 years. You could be getting there at 18 years old, and man, you'll be out of there by 30. So
unbelievable.
Yeah, get a lot of degrees that way, I guess.
I suppose.
But no, so now we're gonna
we go, Eli.
Get back going here. We're gonna start now at 2:15. Oliver Dykes of Red Oak going to be going up against. It looks like Richard Cruz, Naito. I think the best. I'll go. Let's see. We're going to be again on the black mat. It's going to be. Maybe I'll go with I'll go with Cruz here. Cruz Naito might be a little fast for me to say while we're calling a wrestling match, but we're gonna do our absolute best. So Cruz Naito and Dykes of Red Oak. Cruz Nieto. That'll be good. There we go. Cruz Nieto.
There you go.
And they're going to go to center circle. Cruz Nieto coming in nice, going for an outside single there is Dykes. Now going for a front hand of the arm. Now goes for a cross faces. Cruz Nieto gets himself the takedown for 3. Is going to let up Dykes and now scores here 3-1. Cruz Nieto coming in on the right side and now going to break out of it here at 2:15. Goes for a double head tap. Now goes again for a low outside single. Dykes trying to be able to fight this off. Cruz Nieto trying to be able to keep his hips up high. Gets himself another takedown for 3. Now goes to a chop and jam on the left side. It's Cruz Nieto and Dykes with 1:20 left here in this first period. Now trying to be able to run this through with a spiral ride. Has an arm here on the right side. Trying to pick up the leg and step through is Cruz Nieto. Going in on a wrist on the right, trying to be able to pin this arm. Now goes for a half Nelson. Dykes trying to be able to fight off tough here. Cruz Nieto does a good job of keeping heavy hip pressure. You can tell he's on his toes all the way around here, which is good to see. Crossface coming here from the left side. Dykes trying to be able to hand fight here. Now going himself for the roll through. Cruz Nieto does a good job of continuing to roll through. Now Dykes trying to be able to sit down through. Won't be able to get it. 6-1 here our score. Cruz Nieto of Denison leads. Now going out in front. Dykes now trying to be able to grab onto a leg here. Trying to be able to work his way out of this. Pinning the leg back here of Cruz Nieto. Dykes has a nice tight grip here, but Cruz Nieto trying to be able to bring this hips back through. Still nothing rewarded here. Looks like maybe be a stalemate. Now comes back in front. Trying to keep his toe in bounds here, and they're going to call him out there on the side. Awkward position here. Trying to be able to roll through, not really staying back behind the arms. 10 seconds left here in this first period. Cruz Nieto leads 6-1. Dykes will be on bottom. Cruz Nieto will cover. Chop and jam here on the left side, now going in with an arm bar. Going to an ankle pick on the right side here. Try to drive this through here. 2 seconds left in the first, and that's going to do it here for your first period. It's going to be Cruz Nieto's choice. He will defer. Dykes will now choose neutral. I think it's a good spot for Dykes as well to choose neutral here. Try to get into those underhooks we saw earlier.
Over on the orange mat, Eli, it's Underwood 6, St. Albert nothing in there, 285.
Trying to go for the over tie here is Dykes tapping on the head as Cruz Nieto does a nice double tap, goes for himself with a blast single, crosses the legs over, gets himself another takedown for 3. Now going for the power half, trying to be able to drive this thing through here on Dykes. Dykes trying to be able to lay his arm out, post it on the right side. Nieto's going to let him up again. Score is now going to be 9-2. Cruz Nieto's been in total control here. Double taps in the side, getting good elevation. Dykes with a shot, but keeps his head down. Cruz Nieto does a good job being able to get his hips back. Lets him up, 12-2. Now our score, another far shot from Dykes. Cruz Nieto's able to just work around, get himself another takedown for 3. Gonna let up Dykes. Double tap again. And these are good stuff, 2 slaps on the side here. Gonna get himself another takedown. Now looking for a half, and that's gonna do it. Oh, not now is going to be, well, that should have done it, but I was going to say that's 15 there right on the board if my math's right. But yeah, that's going to do it here. Nice job from Cruz Nieto. Good double slap side of the face, setting up his shots and just able to lower the penetration, be able to go. Dykes shooting kind of from too far from a distance, wasn't really be able to get in on his Greco moves. Now we're going to move into heavyweight.
Yep. Yeah, Nolan Perrin for the Tigers. Aiden Egling for Denison.
It's going to be Perrin and Eglin of Denison. Going to be going on here at 285. Let me write that down here. And we're going to get things going here.
Here we go.
Collar tie here. Heavy collar tie here for Perrin. Now going upper body. That's what you love to see in some of these heavyweight matches. You get some big throws, you get some big tosses. Perrin doing a good job staying inside, goes down to the leg, and they're going to go out of bounds. You notice Perrin does a great job getting heavy on the head to get things started and tries to be able to circle in. Perrin's a guy that can throw you here in a heartbeat.
Yep.
Now goes down to a double leg here, stands back up to his feet. Eglin trying to be able to fend this off, and Perrin does a good job being able to finish this shot. That's a big thing in heavyweight, too. To be able to finish these shots. Now goes for the roll through here. The I guess the incorrect term is we would call that a fat man roll, what we did in high school, but it's just a heavyweights love to tug down on this arm and be able to get themselves rolled through, and we're going to have blood time here over on the black mat.
I believe we are. Perrin in the heavyweight division seems to be
he's a leaner guy.
One of the leaner, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
One of the leaner heavyweights.
And, you start to see that more and more, especially on the college level. I mean, geez, those guys are all lean. I mean, when you're cutting down like that. But, and what you like to see out of Perrin at heavyweight is just to be able, he might be giving up some weight, but at the same time, he's got the speed and he's got the strength. But he does a really good job getting in heavy on ties, being able to circle, and that's what we saw last year. He needs to just get in good spots, especially with these bigger guys. If you can get in on a good angle at heavyweight, you're going to be able to do a lot of damage.
Yeah. I think we're going to get back at it here. Over on the orange mat, though, it is Underwood with the lead 6-0 over St. Albert. Okay, Eli, here we come back from blood timeout. Ready to go.
Yep, ready to go back here. 3-0, Perrin lead's going to cover on Eglin. Chop and jam now trying to keep this arm here and bar this thing up. Does a good job getting to it quick and getting it on the wrist. That's exactly what you want. He's got to be able to take his time here, settle the hips, but then again, Eglin does a good job breaking out. Needs to just take his time a little bit when especially it's rare for you to be able to get a wrist in two on a arm bar, but now a cradle, going for a far side cradle here, trying to be able to lock this thing up. Goes now again to a chop and jam, now looking back again for the arm bar. 53 seconds left here in this first period. Chop and jam here again on the left side. Now needs to just slip over to half. He needs to hop sides and run this half. And nice job from Perrin trying to sync this up. And he's going to be able to get himself the fall. Nice job there from Perrin.
Nolan Perrin with the victory. Red Oak leads 6-5 now.
And a nice job from Perrin. He's going to be a guy, you know, that I think can really be a dude, I think, this year at heavyweight. He's got the experience, wants to be able to make that state berth, and that was fun to be able to see from Perrin, you know.
Yeah.
I'm sure Nate's got him in the weight room a ton,
yeah,
right?
And I know he has hit the weights hard.
Yeah.
So he's strong. He's
absolutely,
like you say, has experience. So,
and it looks like Denison's gonna be open at 106. Oh, never mind. Just kidding. They're gonna go out at 106. It looked like they gave the open signal, but they're gonna be heading out at 106. And I'll get the name here for you. No,
okay, that's at 106. Here we go for our mat, black mat.
Yep. And it looks like we're going to have, let's see here in just a second if they announce. Zar 8, is that right?
Here. Zarate and Aiden Laura. So Zarate and Laura.
So it looks like they both went double forfeit at 6. So they go to 13. Zarate and Laura for Denison and Red Oak. Zarate of Red Oak and Laura of Denison. Laura does a good job trying to get himself in on a shot here. Zarate does a great job defensively, just continues to move quick, works his way around. And gets himself the takedown for 3. Now trying to be able to step this through. Now going for full in the out, and that's where you get close. You know, they're going to blow that whistle quick. Slipping in a half on the left side and just comes through on the right, trying to be able to switch. And you get caught getting yourself in on a full Nelson, gives up the point. But still, Zarate leads 3-1 over Laura. Zarate with a chop and jam on the left side with a tight waist here on the right, trying to be able to bump the hips back down. Going for a mat return back down to the mat. Does a nice job with a great mat return. Now going in on a half here on the left side, trying to break the hips back down. Love that he bumped the hips back down. Needs to be able to do this again. Getting himself just a tad bit high, but reworks his way back. Picks up that near ankle. Laura does a good job trying to be able to spread himself out. Now rolling in on this wrist. Going to hop back to the other side here. Now hops back onto the right. Now goes over to the left. Now picking up the near ankle and just try to drive this thing through. And it's tough at 106 to get falls. They move fast.
It's interesting to watch that transition from the heavyweight right down to this 106, 113. It's just a different pace.
Absolutely. And right there, Zarate does a nice job. He's doing a good job picking up that near ankle, but what he's not doing, he's not stepping through when he has it. He's picking it up well, but he's not able to step it through. And you can see the flexibility right here of Laura. Now has this wrist in tight, and needs to pull the wrist to his chest. Laura's doing a good job of keep posting out the other leg, but Zarate needs to pull it to his chest and be able to drive this through. So it looks like we're going to have we got 5 seconds left here in this first period, and Zarate's going to lead now here 3-1 after the first.
All right. End of 1, Eli.
Yeah, really good stuff from both these guys here. Yeah, it's like you said, Aaron, it gets real different once you get to these lightweight guys. It's going to be Zarate's choice, and Zarate's going to choose top. Must feel comfortable trying to be able to go for this pin. He's going to cover, chop and jam now again on the left side. Trying to be able to bump the hips back down here. And again, nice tight waist here on the right. Trying to be able to slip through on a half again. If he's going to pick up that near ankle, Laura does a nice job of sucking it back in. Now trying to pick up this ankle. Needs to hop sides now. If he can hop sides, he's got a chance. A little too slow with it. Laura does a good job of being able to break his way out of it. Zarate doing good. Going back left and right, trying to be able to find his angles. Just needs to be able to stay patient and wear out Laura. Laura's doing a good job needing to keep his head off the mat, trying to be able to build this base back up. Zarate needs to now hop sides, and just try to be able to drive one through and keep patient. Rolling in a wrist here on the left and half on the right. Now trying to switch back over. Now has double wrist, trying to roll this thing through. 1:05 left here in the second period. Has Laura's head flat on the mat. Zarata now has an a wrist on the left, breaks out of it. Now going for a crossface. Stall call is going to be coming here soon, I would assume, on Laura. He's got to be able to move on bottom. Now going for a butcher. Still wrestling here on the edge of the mat. Laura's able to stand back up to his feet. Nothing rewarded yet. No, nothing here. And Zarata's able to catch Laura right back onto his back. Does a good job of sinking his hips in tight. Needs to go for the half, and he's got this locked in tight. I think a fall is going to be coming here soon. Needs to put his head up to the ceiling. Laura's doing a good job trying to be able to fight off this. Zarata bring the hips down and gets himself the fall. Great job continuing to stay in. You know, when there's a chance to be able to give up the one, brings the hips back in tight and is able to get himself the fall and leads now here 12-5 here, Red Oak over Denison.
All right, there you go. Like Eli said, Red Oak leads 12-5 over here on the black mat. Over on the orange mat, it's Underwood over St. Albert 18-4. They're at 120 on the orange mat.
And it looks like we're going to 120 here too, and Denison is going to be open.
Yep.
And that'll move us to 126.
Yep.
Let's see who. And I think Red Oak will send out Gibbs again at 26.
We'll see here.
26. Corona will bump up from 20 and go to 26.
Yeah, Abdel Corona for Denison. And
I'm going to assume it's going to be Gibbs.
Red Oak is open.
Well, just kidding. They're going to bump.
There you're going to go.
Put that X out on my on the paper.
There you go.
Yeah, that's one thing I got to do. I'll be able to remember these names, write them down, look at it a couple times, and every now and then it works. But so I think they might just be working, bumping back and forth. Well, maybe not.
So I think we're going to have.
Yeah, we're going to go to 32. It's going to be Gusman.
Yep.
Of Red Oak. And it's going to be.
And Trey Hartwig for Denison. 132. So Gusman and Hartwig, Eli.
You know, in 32, year in, year out throughout the state is always tough. You got guys that cut down from 44 even sometimes down to 132, and it's just a tough weight class all the way throughout. Very strong wrestlers here in this class. We're going to get started here with Gusman and Hartwig of Denison. Hartwig double tapping here on the head here of Gusman, trying to lower his elevation here. Got a front heavy lead leg here on the right side is Gusman. Now goes to an inside collar tie. Like to see Gusman get back to those shots that we were seeing. You know, has a lot of attempts, just was not able to finish. And their wrestling here needs to circle back in. Does a nice job wrestling, you know, and that's exactly what you want to see. Getting close to the edge of the mat and be able to get yourself in on a nice shot. Just knowing you can have that. It was a great high crotch to go out of bounds. Hartwig with a heavy collar tie, and with that pressure in, Gusman sees it and does a great job being able to get himself in on a single leg. From that pressure from Hartwig, Gusman now has this elevated up, trying to be able to almost look like he went for a whip there. Now goes back, and the roll through here coming from Hartwig down onto the knee. That's going to be close. And nice job there from Gusman. He will slide the leg in through, gets himself the takedown for 3. You know, and I want to go back to that even. The pressure that Hartwig was throwing in, all Gusman had to do was lower the elevation, gets himself in on a high crotch, and gets in on a single leg, and now throwing in both boots here and leads 3-0 over Hartwig of Denison.
43 seconds remaining in the first.
Gusman trying to be able to pop the elbow forward. Now is going for a power half. Again, throws in both legs here. 35 seconds left in the first. Trying to be able to stretch out Hartwig. Hartwig keeping his head down on the mat, just staying in a solid base. Gusman needs to be able to flatten this out. Hartwig trying to be able to tripod up. Now going across the body here. Down to a leg. Hartwig trying to be able to fight this thing through. And now Gusman catches himself a little high, needs the reset and does. Nice job from Gusman to be able to settle the hips back down. Almost looked like he thought about a Splato there for a second. Hartwig tries to be able to Granby roll through out of this. Now going to a cross face. is Hartwig, and is Gussman, and that's going to be the end of the first period. Nice job from Gussman. Just stays calm, doesn't get too hyped up in the situation. It's going to be Hartwig's choice. He'll defer. Gussman will choose bottom.
Over on the orange mat, Underwood leads 23-10. Team score.
Hartwig will cover. Gussman set. Going to go to a spiral ride here on the left side here. Got it in tight down on the thigh. Gussman trying to build this base back up. Needs to be able to now step through back. Goes for a nice switch attempt. Now across faces Hartwig. 15 seconds ticked off. Does a good job hand fighting. Brings the arm around. Gets himself back in this switch position. Now just needs to limp arm out. All Gussman's got to do is just continue to keep circling. Limp arm through. Now is in on a leg. Kind of in a cross lock situation here. Hartwig trying to be able to elevate the leg in. Gussman does a good job continuing to scramble and just keep moving the feet. It's going to be close here to reversal. Just needs to get his foot. It's going to be 2 for the reversal. Nice job from Gussman. Just keep continuing to move. Granby roll here, attempt here coming from Hartwig on a roll through. Nice bear claw ride from Gussman. Trying to bring it back down to the mat here. Hartwig back up to a tripod. 1 minute left here in this second period. Gussman trying to be able to, now just needs to pop the arm up forward. Now looking maybe for a setback. Got himself a 2-on-1. Hartwig back up to his feet. Gussman looking for a mat return. Does a nice crotch lift. Just needs to bring him back down easy here. Still in control, and they're going to go out of bounds. And Gussman does a good job going into that crotch lift, trying to be able to step through. But a nice job. Leads now here 5-0 with 44 seconds left in the second. Hartwig set. Gussman will cover. Chop and jam on the left. Now goes a spiral ride on the right. Trying to put pressure down onto this right leg. Hartwig back up to his feet. Gussman still in position here. Trying to be able to get himself a mat return. Gets Hartwig set back down onto his butt. Hartwig reaching back for the head. If Gussman's able to slip out to the right side, I'd definitely be trying to be able to roll through on a half. But he's going to let Hartwig up, which I probably think is a smart choice. 5-1 this lead now in the second. Inside collar tie on the right for Gussman. Now trying to switch here is Hartwig on the inside. 5 seconds left here in the second. Going again for a high crotch. Now trying to be able to lower the elevation. Nothing there. 1 second left here in the second, and that's going to be it here for the second period. Gussman leads 5-1.
There you go. Over on the orange mat, it's Underwood with the lead 23-16 on the orange mat. They're at 138, it looks like. And here we go, Eli, third period.
It's going to be now Hartwig's choice. Hartwig's going to choose bottom. Gussman will cover. Tight waist here on the left side. Now goes back to this crotch lift. Great mat return again from Gussman. Now back onto a tight waist, still in control here. Going for another big mat return. Hartwig does a good job standing back up to his feet. Gussman trying to be able to get back in on this leg, still in control. Lifts up. Hartwig in the air, just needs to keep these legs crossed, go for a half. Nice job there. Going to get at least 2 swipes, needs to get a reverse half. Hartwig does a good job of rolling through, but he's going to get 2 near fall out of it as Gussman. Lead's now going to be 7-1. Now throwing in a leg on the right side, now trying to throw in the left one. Gussman gets caught a little high, now goes for the cross face and has it back across. Going to get some near fall points out of this, needs to stretch out the body. Going to get at least 3 near fall, I would assume. And he is going to get 3. Now going to lead this match here 10-1 with 1 minute left here in the third. Both legs in. Hartwig trying to be able to roll through again. Now coming back over. Now stretch. Just needs to continue to stretch this out. Going to get at least 2 swipes. Going to get 2 more. Now going to lead here 12-1. Going to let go back out of it, and he's going to go right back into it. Now going for this half. He can now step his leg back out. I hear you there. It's uncomfortable, yeah.
It makes me uncomfortable watching, Eli.
It's not a great spot to be in with 30 seconds. Gussman just a little bit high here. Just needs to be able to settle back in, especially with 12-1 lead. Yes, you want to keep scoring. Now going back for this half. Back over with both legs thrown in. Going to get some more near fall swipes. Gussman can just sit here the rest of the match if he wants. He's going to get 4 near fall and leads this 16-1. He's going to get himself a tech fall out of this.
10 seconds and counting.
Now looking for the fall here, might as well do it. going to get 5 extra team points out of this. Nice job from Gusman, especially bouncing back from a match that you know in your head you definitely had chances to win, and comes out and just shows dominance and gets a tech fall victory, 16-1.
All right, Eli. So Red Oak gets the victory there. 23-11 is the team score.
Now we're going to move on down to 138. It's going to be Carson Van Scoy of Red Oak.
Yep. And for Denison. And for Denison.
And for Denison will be Jackson Grave.
Jackson Grave for Denison.
Not Gravy, Grave.
Grave.
Van Scoy and Grave of Denison. Van Scoy of Red Oak, Grave of Denison. Now going on here at 138. Red Oak leads this duel here 23-11. They're going to shake hands. Back here at the center, collar tie, inside collar tie. Now just goes right down to a single leg. Now looking for a bow and arrow cradle. Trying to roll this over here on Van Scoy. Gets himself the takedown for 3. Van Scoy trying to be able to step through on this. Now trying to be able to cross the legs and keep him cross is Grave. Not going to be able to. Van Scoy does a good job crawling forward, but a tight waist to an armbar tilt here maybe. But Van Scoy does a good job trying to be able to circle and get a switch attempt out of this. Nothing's going to come from it. Close to a full Nelson there. That's a full Nelson right there. Yeah, and he's going to get called for that. And it's going to be 1 point here for Van Scoy. Van Scoy's got to be able to explode out of this Graves pretty quick with trying to be able to get inside. Chop and jam now, gets himself to a 2-on-1 here, and now he's trying to sync up an armbar here on Van Scoy. Van Scoy's got to be able to keep this head up because he might be able to run this right through. Now Grave has an armbar locked in here pretty tight, trying to be able to run this over Van Scoy. Van Scoy trying to be able to roll through. He's got the free arm to be able to do it. Going to get at least 4 near fall. Now looking for a half. Has Van Scoy onto his back. And he's going to be able to get the fall. Graves is over Van Scoy.
All right. Moving on to 144.
Yep, we'll go down to 144.
And
let's see.
Looks like we're going to have a couple of wrestlers here.
Okay, on the orange mat will be at 150 pounds.
They're moving to 150 on the orange mat.
Yep,
We have Gibbs from Red Oak.
Gibbs from Red Oak and Bradley of Denison going on right here at 144. This will get started here. Your team score 23-17. Red Oak leads over Denison now at 144. Straight on double leg here coming from, where am I missing my name at? Bradley, excuse me. Gibbs able to circle his way out of it. Minute 45 left here in this first period. Collar tie again here on the left side. Now they're going to break out of it here. 2-on-1 here for Bradley. Shot fake from Bradley. Now Gibbs is able to circle his way out. Now going to a collar tie. Gibbs in on a shot, trying to go for a throw by, and is trying to be able to shuck this by here is Bradley. Nothing rewarded just yet. Trying to be able to fight here on the edge of the mat, and they're going to go out of bounds. Nice job, from Gibbs, knowing where he's at, continuing to circle, and he gets himself out of bounds. Collar tie, nice throw by, trying to get himself to the JJ is Bradley, but Gibbs does a good job continuing to circle his feet. Nothing rewarded yet. Minute 10 left here in the first. Bradley now with a front hand and arm position here. They're going to still continue to wrestle here on the edge of the mat. Now trying to be able to get himself in, almost on a duck under, and nothing's going to come out of it. And they're going to go back to the center with 58.4 left here in the first period. Back here to the center. Heavy collar tie from Gibbs. Again, another shuck by attempt coming from Bradley. Again, in on the collar tie, going to an underhook, trying to be able to slip down through on this throw by. He's able to get inside, almost looked like a high crotch in on the leg here. Gets himself the takedown for 3 is Bradley, but then the escape coming from Gibbs pretty quickly. 3-1 lead here for Bradley. Now again, another shuck by to a JJ. He's able to get himself another takedown for 3. He's going to lead now 6-1 with 27 seconds left here in this first period. Now trying to be able to get inside on an arm bar is Bradley. Gibbs got to be able to turn himself away, especially with a short time left here. Now trying to drive over onto this wrist here is Bradley. Nothing comes out of it. 8 seconds left here in this first period. Trying to roll through here is Gibbs. 2 seconds left here on the first. And that's going to do it for your first period. Bradley of Denison leads here 6-1.
Over on the orange mat at 157. It is Underwood with the lead over St. Albert, 39-16.
It was going to be Bradley's choice. Bradley defers, and Gibbs is going to choose top. Gibbs now will cover. Bradley right up to his feet. Gibbs going for a mat return. Gibbs still back onto his feet, trying to be able to hand fight here is Bradley. Gibbs got to be able to get back to a mat return here soon, and Bradley does a good job. Right now the surfboard, gets himself the hand fight and breaks out of it. Leads now here 7-1. Nice shot attempt here from Gibbs. Got to be able to try to hit the corner. Nice heavy hips here from Bradley here on the edge of the mat. Bradley trying to free hip in. They're going to work their way out of bounds, and they're going to go back neutral. Minute 30 left here. 7-1 is our score in this second period. Back to the center here. Heavy collar tie again. Now a great shuck by. It's a great job there from Bradley. Does a good job, using the pressure of Gibbs. Throws it by. Gets an inside tie. Then slips in the leg. You'd be able to sometimes attempt a JJ out of that, roll through and catch him on their back. But Bradley stays content with those 3 points. Now leads here 10-1 with 1:05 left. He's going to cut Gibbs. They're going to go back here into the center. 10-2 our score. Collar tie again. Another great shuck by coming from Bradley. Going to get another takedown here for 3 and leads 13-2. Spower rides Gibbs down. 45 seconds left here in this second period. Now looking for a half here on the right side. Trying to now cinch up an arm bar and an arm here on the right. Going to try to bring this in tight. Going to try to roll through as Gibbs. But Bradley does a good job keeping the hips posted down. 32 seconds left here in this second period. Now an arm bar on the left side. Now has his wrist trying to be able to run this thing through. He's got Gibbs stuck pretty tight here, and he's going to be able to get the fall.
Yep. There you go. And it's tied up at 23 apiece team-wise now, Eli.
Yeah, 23-23 now moving into 150. I'm going to assume you're going to have, 144. That was 144, excuse me.
Yeah, that was 144.
So we're going to go to 150. And we're going to have...
Ransom?
Looks like I'm going to assume it's Ransom.
And Alvarenga, I think, but we'll see. Get the announcement from Mr. Eubank. Brett Eubank, the public address announcer here in Red Oak this evening.
So I'm going to say that's going to be Ransom. I'm listening for. So, yep, Ransom and Alvarenga.
Yep. That's it.
So Alvarenga of Denison and Ransom of Red Oak. Ransom and Alvarenga now with a front hand and arm. Now trying to run this cow catcher right through. Ransom does a good job rolling through. Now an overs position here is Alvarenga. Ransom trying to be able to stay in this front head and arm. They're going to break out of it and stay here at the center. Good scrambling from both these wrestlers here with 1:27 left here in this first period. Ransom with a shot fake here. Alvarenga circling here. Now gets a collar tie on the left side. Tries to be able to snap this down here. Gets in a collar tie on the left. Underhook on. Goes into double unders here as Alvarenga still wrestling here on the outside part of the mat. Going to circle out. Going to shoot blast double right on through as Alvarenga, and they're going to go out of bounds. 58 seconds left here in this first.
Over on the orange mat, Eli, Underwood team leads 50-16, and they're at 175 over on the orange mat.
Ransom with a low shot here. Now Alvarenga gets himself in on a single leg, trying to be able to finish this up, picks this up through on Ransom. Ransom trying to be able to roll through. Alvarenga trying to be able to work out to the side, now trying to be able to run this half. Does a good job getting himself the takedown, finishes the shot, leads now here 3-0 in the first period. Now looking for a suck back is Alvarenga. Ransom trying to be able to fight off here. Now in on a wrist is Alvarenga, going in on a half on the other side. Ransom now trying to be able to hand fight, needs to be able to turn and face him here. Get his wrist back, turn and face. Alvarenga looking for the cradle. He's going to let Ransom back up. Ransom gets the escape, 3-1, 15 or 12 seconds now left here in this first period. Underhook here on the left side for Ransom. Pressuring in forward. 1 second left here, and that's going to do it for your first period. You know, a lot of Ransom trying to be able to work his round to be able to get a shot. Alvarenga did a good job of being able to continue the pressure in forward. Finds what he needs, gets himself a takedown for 3. It's going to be Ransom's choice. Ransom will defer. Alvarenga will now choose bottom.
And here we go.
Alvarenga on bottom. Ransom now will cover. Bear claw ride here. Alvarenga does a great job standing just right off the whistle, right up to his feet, gets himself an escape and goes right back in to a looking like a double leg, but then switches off to a single, able to dump this thing off, gets himself another takedown for 3. Now looking to be able to run this half on the left side, leads now 7-1. Ransom trying to be able to tripod back up to a base and will, gets himself an escape, 7-2. Alvarenga leads over Ransom. Collar tie on the right side for Ransom. Alvarenga in on a wrist on the right. Pressured back in is Ransom. Alvarenga circling back into the center. Double unders is Ransom. Take this chance and launch it. Trying to bring him back in. Goes for an inside trip. Going to go out of bounds. Going to be close. Nice job from Ransom, though. You get the opportunity. Gets double unders. Tries to throw the leg in through and keep the toes down. Not able to get it, and they're going to go out of bounds. I think that's Ransom's. That should be his go-tos right now. Underhook again on the left side here. Alvarenga trying to hit some overs. Now going for a shot here is Ransom. Alvarenga now pressuring in on the far left side of the mat. 55 seconds left here in this second period. Now onto a wrist here. Now on back to a collar tie. Inside tie here. Alvarenga tries to be able to do a throw by. Ransom now with a front head and hold position. Alvarenga is able to scramble himself out of it. 40 seconds left in the second. Tap and go single from Alvarenga. Gets Ransom kind of caught flat-footed. Trying to be able to get the foot back on the outside here. He's going to be able to get himself close to a takedown. Nothing rewarded yet, but he's going to be able to get it now. Has this leg cross. Is going to get some near fall points too as well. Leads now here 10-2. He's going to get 4 near fall. Now trying to split this through on Ransom and get himself the fall here on the edge of the mat. Keeps the toe in bounce, trying to be able to look for the fall. 7 seconds left, short time here. Ransom needs to punch his arm through, and looks like he will. Going to be close, and that's going to do it here for your second period. Going to be 4 near fall. 14-2 is going to be our lead now here for Alvarenga. It's going to be Ransom's choice, and I would choose neutral, and he does. Now Ransom in on a collar tie on the right side. Shuck by attempt here coming from Ransom. 1 takedown away here from getting a tech fall. Ransom needs to get back to those double unders. You can tell he gets real comfortable there. If he can ride with some double underhooks here and try to get inside, gives himself a chance. Alvarenga does a nice job moving him left, coming back and shooting on to the right. Hits himself in on a single leg. Ransom does a good job trying to roll through. Nothing rewarded yet. Ransom still trying to be able to fight off this. It's going to be the takedown for 3 and some near fall. Ransom had himself a chance to be able to try to roll this through, but it looks like Alvarenga is going to get himself a chance at a fall. Ransom needs a fight off his back. You know, team points is going to be big, especially being tied here 23 all.
Minute 13 to go in the third.
Ransom needs to be able to continue to fight off his back, but right there he rolls back and gets himself caught into a fall, and Alvarenga is going to get 6 points back on the board here for Denison.
29-23. Okay, Eli, here we go.
Now we're going to be moving on to 157.
Underwood wins over on the orange mat. Team score 62-16. So Purdue for the Red Oak Tigers.
Yep, going to be
Jackson.
Enrique Santos. It's going to be Purdue.
And Santos. Here we
Here
go.
at 157. Purdue and Santos. And they'll get started here at the center circle. Tapping on the right-hand side. Now getting onto a collar tie. Underhook here on the left for Purdue. Santos circles his way out of it. Still staying here at center circle. Collar tie on the right. Outside single attempt here coming from Santos. Trying to be able to work his way around. Gets himself the takedown for 3 on Purdue. Now trying to be able to run this half over is Santos. Trying to be able to roll in onto a wrist. Purdue gets himself back up to his feet. Is able to get himself the escape. Now down here 3-1. Collar tie now on the right side for Santos. Santos going on for a straight on double front head and arm position here for Purdue. Needs to be able to bounce this back off the mat. He's in a good spot. Now trying to go looking for double unders. Backs his way out of it. And they're going to stay here at the center. Shot attempt here from Purdue. Almost looking like a shot fake. 1 minute left here in this first period. Santos leads. Collar ties here again. Tapping on top of the head here. Inside collar tie on the right side, underhook on the left. Here at 157. Shot attempt from Purdue. They're going to stay at the center with 40 seconds left here in this first period. Collar tie on the right side, underhook on the left. Going again, another shot attempt here from Santos. Now trying to go off for a double. Purdue does a good job bringing his hips back, standing back up to his feet. Now looking for an underhook position, and they're going to break out of it. Blast double again, just coming straight on. Double leg from Santos. Purdue does a good job staying out in front. 17 seconds left. Needs to bring this head back down to the mat, but they're going to break out of it. 12 seconds left here in this first period. Collar tie again on the right side. Two seconds left here in this first period, and that's going to do it here in the first. 3-1. Santos of Denison leads over Purdue of Red Oak.
29-23 is the team score. Coach is wrestling over here. Eli on the orange mat.
You get some extra work in, it looks like.
Yeah, I suppose.
They're going to choose neutral here. I want to say that was, I don't know if that was Purdue's choice or Santos' choice, but they're going to be neutral here. Underhook on the left side for Purdue. Breaks out of it, still here at center circle. Not a lot of shot attempts here from Purdue, but Santos now in on a straight-on double, trying to bring the hips up through. Purdue does a good job getting himself on a crossface. Breaks out of it, still staying at the center with 30 seconds ticked off here in this second period. Collar tie on the right side. Haven't seen a lot of shot attempts yet here from Purdue. Now trying to get down to a shot. Gets himself to a inside collar tie. Minute 17 left here in the second period. 3-1, Santos leads. 2-on-1 here. Heavy collar tie on the right side here for Purdue. Outside signal from Santos. Purdue does a good job cross-facing here. Gets himself back up to his feet. 1 minute left here in the second. Again, another front head and arm position, but breaks out of it. Goes back into the center. Goes for a nice shot attempt from Purdue. Stays patient. Gets himself the takedown here for 3. Nice job. Now reach for a half. Nice job from Purdue. Great high crotch. Gets himself in on a great takedown. Now is going to flip this lead here 4-3.
35 seconds to go in the second period.
Tries to keep the toe down and get some near fall rewarded here. The wrestling on the edge of the mat. They're going to go out of bounds. Nice job from Purdue. Just stays patient. Was trying to stay in his own element there. Gets himself a nice high crotch and gets himself the takedown. Flips this lead here 4-3. Purdue will cover. Chop and jam down on the left side. Santos trying to be able to roll through on this. 21 seconds left here. Purdue's got, looks like a ball and chain locked up here, but nothing comes out of it. Santos tries to break back up. Head lever coming here from Purdue. 7 seconds left here in this second period.
And that's going to do it for the second period, Eli.
Nice job from Purdue. You know, takes the opportunity to find his shot. Circle, stays patient. It's going to be Purdue's choice. I think Purdue can go bottom, or he's going to choose top.
Yep.
So, and two as well, Purdue's been doing a really good job riding tough on top. You know, with this lead here 4-3, thinking he's going to be able to get himself in on a turn. Does a nice job pinning the arm back, gets himself back on a head lever. Obviously, Purdue's very comfortable. Now throws it over his head. Now just needs to step through, needs to get closer to the head so he can step through. Now run the half. Now he's got this thing synced in pretty tight. Needs to keep his hips down. Can sit here all day if he wants to. Just needs to sink the hips. Keep the half, but just sink the hips. Nice job. Gets in now on a reverse half here. Just trying to be able to settle the hips. Santos trying to be able to keep moving. Purdue needs to stay on his toes, settle back. Has this locked up here pretty tight. Got to be close to a fall.
He's going for it hard, Eli.
Body lock here from Santos. Purdue trying to hold this in tight. Needs to be able to flip back over. Keep this arm pin. Is going to be able to get 4 near fall. Now going to lead here 8-3. Nice job from Santos trying to be able to fight off his back. Now going for a ball and chain here is Purdue. And going in with a bar as well on it. Trying to be able to get himself in on a turn. Now needs to bring this to his chest and take this over slowly. Now he just uses that arm as a lever. 40 seconds left here. There's good team points to be able to have. Now goes on to a tight waist, now down to a wrist. 35 seconds left here in the third. Rolling in a wrist here on the left side is Purdue. Another turn here would be huge. Now he's trying to be able to turn back in, trying to be able to roll through on Purdue. Santos does get the roll through and now cuts it 8-5. Now going for a cradle, gets himself caught a little too high. 13 seconds left here. Santos has to be able to get a turn to be able to get this.
8 seconds.
Now trying to roll over here on Purdue. 4 seconds left here in this third period, and Purdue's going to come out with a victory. You know, a nice all-around match, I think, too, from Purdue. Just, stayed patient. Good coaching choice, too, there from Coach Podliska. He knows his wrestler well, and with Purdue, feels comfortable on top, getting turns, and is able to get it. That seals the victory there, 8-5.
So I see Adam Byer getting
Yep.
set here to come in at 165.
Yep, looks like it's going to be Byer of Red Oak. And I think Ryder Luth.
And for Denison will be Ryder Luth.
Ryder Luth, you're correct, Eli.
It's going to be Byer and Luth at 165. That'll get started here. And again, good to see Byer back on the mat. Great
Absolutely.
dominant first match that he had. Now looking to add some more here for the Tigers. Down 3 here at 165. Heavy collar tie here on the left side is Byer. Trying to be able to snap and go here. Heavy collar tie again. Trying to be able to snap back down here. Goes again. Nice job there from Byer. Gets himself on his single leg. Now does a great job. Finishes his takedown. Keeps the leg crossed. Now going for a crossface. Was looking for a Turk here. Now locks in this arm bar. Trying to be able to run this straight through. Keeps it legal. Just needs to sink the hips back down. Has plenty of time. Just needs to stay patient with it. Has this locked in now pretty tight as Byer. And Luth doing a good job trying to be able to fight. Byer's got the wrist and the arm bar. That's going to be caught pretty flat there. Nice job from Byer. Reverses back out of it. It's able to pivot. Luth doing a good job of fighting off his back here and will before near fall for Byer. Going to lead this now here 7-0. Now again here coming in tight. Looking to be able to roll through on a tilt. Needs to stay in on the mat, and they're going to go out of bounds. 53 seconds left. With this 4-point near fall and the near fall swipes, and with this 3-point takedown changes a lot into a match. Byer now will cover. 53 seconds left here in the first. Chop and jam again. Now rolls through again on a tilt. Going to try to be able to get some swipes. Nothing here yet. There's going to be at least 2 swipes. It looks like he's going to get even more. There's going to be the 4 near fall there for Byer. Now going to lead here. Going now again through another tilt. Almost could get the fall out of that. Shoulders are pretty flat. 11-0 leads. Here going to get another 4 for this tilt. Now trying to be able to lock this thing up and finish this with an armbar. Has this one locked up again pretty tight. Needs to be able to settle the hips. 14 seconds left here in the first. Trying to settle the hips down. That's going to be close for the fall. Be able to work his way out of it is Luth. It's going to be another 4 near fall. And that's going to do it here in a tech fall there in the first period. Byer is able to win that one 15-0 and get some 5 points back on the board here for Red Oak.
And there we go. 31-29 is the score.
And we're going to move on now into 175. And I think Curtis Jackson is who will be going out for Red Oak, which they bumped up last time. And we'll see. They've got 3 listed here for Denison. We'll see who they send out.
Get the word from public address announcer Brett Eubank. Maybe.
175, we have Javier
Medina.
And Curtis Jackson.
And Jackson.
Curtis Jackson, yeah. Javier Medina. So Medina and Jackson.
Jackson and Medina. We're going to shake hands here out in the center. Collar tie on the right side here for Medina. 175 here. Going to stay here at center circle. Collar tie again here on the left side for Jackson. Still here at the center circle. 2-on-1 here. Trying to roll the wrists back out. Heavy collar tie on the right for Medina. Pressuring in here on the left edge of the mat. I'm going to break out of that. Still staying at the center. Nice low single there from Medina, but not able to finish it. Collar tie again on the right side here. Jackson trying to work here on the edge of the mat, and they're going to go out of bounds, going back to the center. Back here at the center. Minute 15 left here in this first period, and again, another collar tie on the right side. Now again, going for that low outside single. Trying to be able to go back upper body with it. Going to be here on the edge of the mat. It says double unders. Trying to be able to throw this thing through. Jackson does a good job with defending it. Still here on the edge of the mat. No score rewarded yet. Great wrestling here. Good defensive wrestling. And Medina trying to be able to score some points. But they're going to go back to the center. Or they're still going to actually be here on the edge of the mat. Not called out of bounds. Medina still wrestling on the edge of the mat. Jackson tries to be able to come back with one of his own. And nothing's going to come out of it. And they're going to go back to the center. 43 seconds left. 2-on-1. Trying to get some wrist action here is Medina. Goes for a low outside single. Great shot there for Medina. Needs to be able to crawl forward here. Gets himself a takedown for 3 on Jackson with 25 seconds left here in the first. Now trying to be able to roll on the wrist. That was a slick shot, too, there from Medina. Now with a tight waist onto a wrist. 15 seconds left here in the first. Another chop and jam back down. Jackson's got to be able to build this base back up. Now he's trying to be able to roll over this wrist and get himself a cheap tilt. Nothing, no swipes there. 3 seconds left here in this first. Medina in control, 3-0.
That's going to do it for the first. And like Eli said, Denison with the lead, Medina 3-0.
It's going to be Medina's choice. Medina will defer. And Jackson's going to choose top. Working on a lot of top this week. Seeing a lot of the Tigers being able to take top position, feeling comfortable there, trying to be able to score some points.
Is that just a matter of preference, Eli? What's the...
I would say so. Definitely some preference here, whatever they feel comfortable with. Trying to be able to score points. Some aren't the best at on bottom getting out. But obviously right here, he's able to land back up top. He's going to get at least a swipe, but they're going to call a roll through. Nothing rewarded, it looks like, and he stopped the swipe too as well. But the Medina's going to be able to get back up to his feet. Now going to lead here 4-0. Collar tie here on the left side. Now back onto a wrist. Now back down to a low ankle. Trying to stand this thing back up. Benitez does a good job with these shots. Heavy hips there from Jackson. Now goes for a reshot. Needs to be able to hang on to this leg, but a nice job from Medina to go to a crossface and get himself a takedown. Now going in on a half, trying to be able to take a big step through, puts Jackson onto his back, going to get some swipe. Has this locked up here pretty tight. It's going to be hard to be able to get out of that. But Jackson doing a good job trying to be able to fight off his back, and right there the shoulders are going to be flat, and Medina's going to be able to get the fall. And now we're going to move on in here to 190.
Now at 190 pounds.
It's a big match here too as well. 35-31 lead. And Otzinger.
Yep. So Johnson and Otzinger here at 190. Denison with the lead, 35-31 here in the round number 2 of the evening.
And who did Red Oak send out at 190?
It's at 190 for Red Oak. It is Andrew Johnson. Andrew Johnson.
Otzinger and Johnson at 190. Inside collar tie for Johnson. Otzinger now coming back with one of his own. Able to split back out of it. Another collar tie here coming from Otzinger. Johnson now again here coming with a collar tie. Breaks out of it. Still at center circle. Goes for a slide by his Otzinger. Now onto a 2-on-1 here. Now gets himself upper body. Johnson trying to be able to lock something up here. Now trying to be able to go with a back trip. Nothing's rewarded out of it, and they're going to stay back here at the center. Minute 15 left here in this first period. Collar tie here on the left side. Now down onto a hand here, trying to be able to bring the pressure back in forward. Front head and arm position. Collar tie here on the left side for Otzinger. Bringing the pressure back in forward. 56 seconds left. Outside shot attempt here from Otzinger. Johnson doing a good job trying to be able to keep the hips back, and now trying to be able to catch himself on a roll through. Nothing rewarded yet. Nice job there from Johnson's able to roll through and get himself to take down for 3. Now going for a collar tie. Johnson's caught a little high, but needs to be able to settle the hips back. He's going to get some near fall here. Has this cradle locked up. 35 seconds, going to get at least 3. And it will be 3. Johnson needs to put a knee in the side. Now separate your hands and extend out. 24 seconds left here. Needs to extend his arms out, put a head in the temple, head in the side. Going to be pretty close to getting a fall, and we'll do it. Nice job from Johnson. You know, he's able to extend the hands out, and he's able to get himself caught in this cradle position and is able to finish it off and catches himself the fall. Nice job from Johnson.
So, Eli, is that it then for
varsity? Yeah, that's
varsity?
going to do it. That was the
37-35 is our final.
That's a huge one there. Had to be able to get the fall, too, as well, to be able to sink this one, to clinch that. And Red Oak's able to get it done. 37-35 victory over Denison.
So now we're going to have some junior varsity matches, looks like. Tell you what, over on the radio side of things, Eli, we're going to take a break. We'll be back with more wrestling after this. Red Oak. Aaron West along with Eli Bells here in Red Oak. Got some junior varsity matches that are taking place. But it's been fun so far. Let me tell you what has happened in round one, Eli. It was Red Oak over St. Albert, 44-31. It was Underwood over Denison by a score of 68-52. Team scores, obviously. And in round number two, it was Underwood over St. Albert, 62-16. Red Oak gets the victory in a pretty exciting fashion, really, there with Andrew Johnson, and 37-35 over Denison there in round two. Got some junior varsity matches, then we'll be on to the final round of the evening. It'll be Red Oak and Underwood and St. Albert and Denison when we get back to it here.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, you got to, especially for those team points, those falls matter, and got to be able to get a fall at the end and solidify a victory for your team. It's huge there for Red Oak to be able to get that, and you'll move on to Underwood here in just a moment.
Yep, and also want to note that the Page County Board of Supervisors meeting taking place. Jerry will have a report with that later on this evening or early tomorrow morning. There'll be a report with that, so stay tuned for that as well. Cold night overnight, so tomorrow better grab your coat when you head out.
Yeah. For me, I'll be grabbing my vest. That's what I typically grab. I might need a Snag Alley's coat. I don't know.
Sub-zero wind chills tomorrow morning, so it's going to be cold. It's cold right tonight out there, but sub-zero wind chills potentially in the morning, so grab your coat when you head out. All right, Eli, we're going to continue to kind of wait for this third round here, but junior varsity wrestling taking place on the mat now. When this wraps up, we'll get underway with round number three. And we'll be back after this. Make note of our sponsors. I do want to say on air, on radio, make note of our sponsors. Say thank you. Over on the streaming side of things, and by the way, if you want to watch, go to kcsifm.com. You can watch it there, and would encourage you to go over and check it out. They thanks to our sponsors, Body Basic Chiropractic, to Green Tree Company, and Heartland Foam Insulators. They are the sponsor of our streaming. Go check it out. We'll take a break, and we'll be back after this. back to Red Oak. Aaron West along with Eli Bell. Still some junior varsity wrestling taking place here in Red Oak this evening. Let me tell you what has happened this evening. First round, it's quad going on. Red Oak, Denison, Schleswig, St. Albert, and Underwood. Round number one is Red Oak to St. Albert. Red Oak comes out on top, 44-31. It was Underwood over Denison, 68-10. Round two, Red Oak comes out on top in an exciting one over Denison, 37-35. And it was Underwood, pretty dominant fashion over St. Albert, 62-16. We got some junior varsity wrestling taking place here at the moment, and then we're going to get underway. Round three, it'll be Red Oak and Underwood and St. Albert and Denison, and that'll conclude the evening, Eli, when we get into that. But we have some junior varsity matches that are taking place. Say thanks to our sponsors when you have the opportunity to say thanks to them, both of our radio sponsors and our streaming sponsors. And mention our streaming sponsors, Body Basic Chiropractic, Dr. Fritz Beyer. You have Green Tree Company, Scott Wilson and all the fine folks down at Green Tree Company, and Heartland Foam Insulators, Scott Allensworth and his crew down at Heartland Foam Insulators. Thanks to those sponsors for making our streaming possible. And again, junior varsity wrestling taking place, and as soon as this concludes, we'll get back to action with varsity wrestling. Take a break and we'll be back after this. welcome back to Red Oak. I think we're going to be ready to get after now. That's pretty exciting heavyweight junior varsity match there, Eli.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, two guys being able to go out, especially in a heavyweight match, and be able to show off some moves here. Nice double legs, couple good pinning combos coming from Red Oak, and Red Oak able to finish that off with a victory.
All right. We're going to swap ends here.
Yep, we'll go to our final duel of the evening with Underwood and Red Oak, both 2-0 so far here on the night. Both looks like full lineups, or it might be I'm just kidding. I think they're having a 15-minute break for time constraints.
Oh.
So I think that might be what's going on. So I guess we will see. We'll wait and find out.
So what is tell me the rule on that, Eli.
So you got to be able to wait. Now it's 30 minutes. It used to be 45 minutes. Now there's a mandatory wait that track wrestling will not allow you to start unless you have that 30-minute wait period. So let's say your last match. So, for instance, that last match would have been at 1. Who was that? That was for Red Oak. It was Andrew Johnson at 190. They will wait until he gets to that 30-minute point, but honestly, I think we probably would get there if they might start, but I don't know. That might be the rule. Maybe.
I'm sure.
Actually, no. I'm just kidding. I don't know. There looks like they're out there wrestling right now.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah, they are. So maybe the heavyweight would have. So Nolan Perrin's coming up here. Man, Eli, I think we're gonna get after.
Just
here.
kidding. I don't know why we had to.
Well, probably he has had the 30 minutes.
Yes, he has. And by the time you would get to that,
so you would work through the rotation.
Correct.
You're going to be at that proper time. So. Again, we have a couple of representatives. They're going to have the flip out here. It looks like Nolan Perrin's going to be fired up and ready to go here.
Yeah, I think we are ready to go. I'm just kidding. I may have been wrong, but I swear I heard 15 minutes. And I was going to say I don't think there's a possible way, but actually I think we're going to get out and get ready to go.
And we are.
So maybe the other duel – maybe the other duel has to wait. I don't know, but I would not think so. Maybe Denison has to wait that mandatory time, but I guess we'll just go out and see. We'll get started here on the heavyweight match.
Yeah, Nolan Perrin out there for the Red Oak. It's Red Oak and Underwood.
Yep. It's going to be Trent Griffin of Underwood and Nolan Perrin of Red Oak. We get started here at 2:85. They're going to shake hands in the middle, and we're going to get underway. Both double unders here coming from Perrin. Now goes back to a collar tie. They're going to both break out of it. Now goes to a straight-on double leg is Perrin. Now trying to finish this right onto the back here of Griffin and try to be able to sink this half in. Going to get some near fall. Trying to be able to finish this off here on the edge. Needs to be able to bring the head in forward. Going to lock the hands up. Griffin trying to be able to fight this off. Perrin trying to be able to get flat.
There it is.
And he'll get it. Nice job there from Perrin. Before they could announce it, nice job from Perrin. He's able to get the quick fall, get a 6-0 lead here to start this duel off for Red Oak.
Yeah, Nolan Perrin took care of that quickly.
And you're going to now have Avery Vayek of Underwood. And I'm pretty sure a state qualifier last year for Underwood.
Basic?
Yep.
Vasic?
Yep, Vasic.
And Zarate for Red Oak?
And they're
Red Oak's open.
And the Red Oak's going to go open at 106, and looks like they're going to bump to 113.
And this will be Zarate, I think, that'll move to 113.
Zarate's going to move to, 113. And they're going to go up against Landon Leaders of Underwood.
Yeah, Landon. So you got Leaders and Zarate at 113.
And we'll get that going here now at 113. We'll shake hands here in the middle, and we will go. Go back into a collar tie here. Now back on to an inside tie is Zarate. Now going straight on down to a single leg here. Got the head back rolled of Leaders. Now going back into a crossface. Crossface trying to punch the arm forward is Zarate. Trying to be able to work back up to his feet is Leaders. Zarate does a good job now trying to sink in a half, trying to roll in a wrist too. Going to pick up the near ankle. When he picks up, he's got to be able to drive through, but Leaders does a good job being able to bring that arm back down. 6-6 against our team score. Zarate now trying to be able to hop sides, run a half. Now it's going to have a half here on the left side. Has a tight waist, trying to be able to run this thing through. Leader's doing a good job fending this off. Now Zarate needs to be able to punch through on this here, and he's going to get Leaders onto his back. Needs to be able to stretch out the arm here, gets the hips down. Needs to be able to drive through. Zarate now trying to be able to settle in down the hips, going to get some swipes here. Has Leaders onto his back. Leaders trying to be able to fight this one off here, keeping the hips down here. Zarate. Looks like they're going to get going on the orange mat too. And Zarate is able to get himself the fall. Nice fall there for Red Oak. Now leads here 12-6.
Yep, so they are going to get going on the orange mat now, Eli.
Zarate is able to pick up 6 points here. Now they're going to move to 120. And let's see who's coming up at 126. I'm going to guess for Underwood, it's going to be Ryan Fletcher.
Brandon Zamron for Red Oak.
It's going to be Zamron and Fletcher.
Ryan. Yep, you got it, Eli. Ryan Fletcher. He's a freshman.
Yeah, just a freshman here, going out of 120 pounds here. Fletcher.
Both are freshmen, actually.
Both freshmen coming out here. They're going to get things started here right in the center circle, and they're going to go. You shake hands in the middle. It's going to be a caution to get things started here for Fletcher, leaning a little forward. Now onto a Russian tie here. Now goes to an outside single. Nice job there coming from Fletcher. Brings the hips up through. Has a double leg takedown. Going to drive him straight down to his back. Now Fletcher trying to be able to finish this thing off. Has Zarate flat onto his back here. Or excuse me, it's Zamron. They're going to go back to the center still. Continue to wrestle for near fall. Going back for a shot, 7-1 lead. Fletcher leads over Zamron. Now goes to an underhook. Now drives to a drop single leg. Nice job there from Fletcher. Going to let Zamron go here on the edge of the mat, and they're going to go out of bounds. 6-2 now the lead here. Our score is actually going to be wrong. Should be 7-2, I'm pretty sure.
Fletcher, long and lanky.
Yes, absolutely, and very physical too as well. So he had 3 takedown, which is the 6th, and the 4 near fall should be 10-2. So it should be 10-2 now. They've got that score right. Minute 23 left here in this first period.
Yeah. Red Oak leads 12-6. Head-to-head at the moment.
Fletcher now gets on back to a 2-on-1, going to a Russian tie, moving fast. Zamron trying to be able to get some upper body. Fletcher now with a front head and arm. Looking like he's going to be able to try to throw this by. Works his way around, gets himself the takedown again for 3. Now leading here 13-2. Gets a cradle locked up here, trying to keep a toe down and bounce. He's got the toe down in, and they're going to go out of bounce there. The toe slips out. Going to get, I think, 2 near fall. They're going to give no near fall. And Zamron's going to go back down on bottom. Zamron is set. Fletcher will cover. And actually, he's going to decide to let him up, and they're going to go neutral. Fletcher going right back in here. Underhook on the left side, now back onto a Russian tie. Goes back down to a single leg. Drops down, gets himself another takedown for 3. Maybe looking for some near fall. Now leads here 16-3. Keeps the leg cross, and they're going to go out of bounds. Still going to be down on bottom. I'm going to assume Fletcher might let him back up. It's going to let him back up and now score 16-4. Fletcher does a really good job of just now putting pressure in, moves really fast, really quick on his feet. Gets now down to a front head and arm position. Zamron trying to be able to get in back on a shot. Good move of direction here is Fletcher. Now trying to be able to cross through, gets himself a takedown again for 3. Now trying to be able to finish this off. 19-4 is the lead. Now trying to be able to finish this and get some near fall too as well. It's either a pin or it's going to be a tech fall, and right there he's able to get the fall, steps on through, and Fletcher just impressive right there over on Zamron. Just continue to keep the pressure going and win after it.
All right.
So again, I think something on the scorers table looks like.
What's the attack?
So instead it's going to be attack instead of a near fall. Well, that's a. For Coach being honest over there, they not able to give the fall because he rolls back over. Had the tech fall before it, rolls back over and gets it. But now we're going to move on to 126. And it looks like Gusman. Oh, no, they're going to be open. Red Oak's going to be open at 26.
Yep.
Underwood will take it at 26. And now Gusman will go out at 132, going up against.
Looks like Meyer-Peter?
Meyer-Peter, I'm going to assume.
Yeah, Meyer-Peter. Dane Meyer-Peter and Dayton Gusman for Red Oak.
Gusman and Meyer-Peter, and they're going to get ready to go here at center circle. 17-12, Underwood leads here in this duel. Meyer-Peter putting pressure in forward, underhook here on the right side for Gusman now. Double unders here for Meyer-Peter, trying to get upper body now on Gusman. Breaks out of it, underhook here. Nice job for a fireman's from Gusman, trying to be able to finish this here. Meyer-Peter does a good job with this crossface. Gusman trying to be able to stand up to his feet and finish this shot. Has it elevated. He's going to be able to finish this shot and get himself a takedown for three. Keeps the legs crossed. Nice job from Gusman to be able to finish off that shot. Still keeping the legs crossed. Needs to be able to keep them crossed, but work forward to be able to get himself to a wrist, get himself to some sort of turn here. Meyer-Peter's able to get his leg back. Minute 15 left here in this first period. Gusman trying to be able to work in the legs here. Meyer-Peter gets that leg caught out in front. Gets himself caught a little bit too high. He's going to break himself out of it. Nice job from Gusman to be able to recover here. And they're going to give Meyer-Peter the one for the escape. They're going to go back on their feet. 3-1 is the score. Nice job from Meyer-Peter being able to continue to scramble there on the edge of the mat.
Underwood leads 17-12.
Nice shot there from Meyer-Peter, but Gusman's able to use his hips, continues to wrestle. Now going to be able to shove the head down, has the arm underneath, trying to be able to get his leg back. Gets his leg back, 47 seconds left here in the first. Try to be able to throw this by, gets himself in on a shot, nothing comes out of it. 40 seconds left here in this first period. Snap down here from Meyer-Peter, now down to a near ankle. Now looking for, trying to be able to hit a cross face. Gusman now in on a leg. Meyer-Peter now in a cow catcher position. Gusman brings his arm back down. Sucker drags there if he wants it. Meyer-Peter doing a good job shoving the head down. Now gets in front to a front-headed arm position. Gusman tries to throw that by. Nothing comes out of it. They're going to stay on their feet with 15 seconds left here in the first. Underhooks again here from Meyer-Peter. Has an underhook. Gusman goes to a fireman's carry. Nice smooth shot again. One of the best shots in the book right there, and Gusman has it down. Meyer-Peter walks right into that one, and Gusman's able to get himself another takedown. Leads here 6-1.
All right. Over on the orange mat, Eli, it's Denison and St. Albert. St. Albert with the lead 18-12 on the orange mat.
And it's going to be Gusman's choice, and Gusman defers. Meyer-Peter chooses bottom. Gusman will cover. Trying to be able to get himself a return here. Returns Meyer-Peter back down on the mat. Tries to be able to throw a leg. Meyer-Peter does a good job getting back up to his feet. Gusman again with another crotch lift back down on the mat. Meyer-Peter does a good job trying to be able to build this base back up. Gusman now throws in the other leg. Has Meyer-Peter back flat, now trying to be able to throw in this half. Going to get some near fall here. Meyer-Peter now trying to be able to fight off his back. Gusman's got both legs, got the grapevines locked in here. Trying to be able to settle his hips back down. Going to have some near fall. Needs to settle back down to the right side here. Try to be able to finish this through. Now the hips come down here. He's got Meyer-Peter stuck onto his back. Going to be pretty close.
That's
here
close
to a
to a pin, isn't it?
Should be close here. Meyer-Peter, that right shoulder must be sticking up pretty well, but Gusman now trying to be able to lock this up to his head. He's got plenty of time with 1:06 left here on the clock, trying to bring this forward, and Gusman's able to get himself the fall. Nice job there. Gusman stays composed, gets himself with the boots thrown in, and gets himself the fall. Brings Red Oak back down to the lead with 18-17.
Van Scoy coming up.
Yep, it's going to be Van Scoy, and it looks like Underwood. Let's see who Underwood will be at 138. Going to be, I'm going to assume, DeVault.
Get the word here. I think it is DeVault. Yeah, Dane DeVault for Underwood. Senior. For the Underwood Eagles.
Yep, Van Scoy and DeVault. They're going to go to center circle here. They're going to shake hands, and they're going to get ready to go. DeVault comes in. Front hand and arm, goes down, snap down, tries to get head in the hole. Van Scoy trying to get back in onto a leg here. DeVault and then goes straight into a cow catcher, trying to put Van Scoy onto his back. He's got Van Scoy onto his back here, trying to be able to settle the hips down as DeVault. Van Scoy trying to be able to get himself caught on a roll through here. DeVault trying to be able to settle the hips, and as Van Scoy tries to roll through, DeVault's able to get himself the fall.
DeVault kind of a compact kind of wrestler, Eli.
Absolutely, very physical. You can tell gets after it and goes. Now they're going to go into 144. 144. I
think it might be, maybe not. We'll see here.
I think we'll see who Underwood sends out here.
Yeah.
Underwood looks like they're going to send out Bose.
Lucas Bose. And Gibbs, I believe, is.
Yep, should be Bose and Gibbs.
For Red Oak. Here we go.
At 144, Bose does a nice job right off the whistle, gets himself in on a nice takedown. Now goes to a spiral ride out in front. Minute 50 left, just 10 seconds ticked off here in this first period. Now goes in throwing in both legs here, coming across. Goes back to a crossface on the other side. Now reaching back, looking for a spladle here on the Bose's on Gibbs, but then works back. Comes back with a crossface, going to get some near fall right here on the edge of the mat.
Over on the orange mats, 24-18, St. Albert with the lead. They're at 144 as well.
Going to get 4 near fall there is Bose on Gibbs. Does a nice job with the crossface. Bose trying to be able to, Gibbs now trying to be able to spin and face. There's going to be some more near fall there coming from Bose here on the edge of the mat. Going to get another 4 near fall. Going to now lead here 11-1 going out there on the edge of the mat. Gibbs is going to be on bottom. Bose again, another stature wrestler here, doing a great job getting to all his attacks here. Bose is going to let him up, go neutral here. 11-1 is our score. Shot fake there from Bose, be able to move around, gets heavy on the head, now goes to a blast double, gets another takedown, leads now 14-1. Gets one more turn, does get the tech fall. Going for another turn here, is going to get some swipes. And that's going to do it here in this match. Nice job from Bose again. Just gets after it, gets some good takedowns, and able to go pretty quick. It's going to be another victory here, 28-18 now the score.
So, Eli, you alluded to it early on. Underwood, just a strong wrestling program.
Absolutely. You know, they've got the history. They've got the kids that be able to come through. They love being in that program. They love to be able to, they get after it, which is something that's pretty impressive to see year in, year out. They've got guys to be able to do it.
That's Colton Johnson for the Eagles.
Colton Johnson at 150 going up against Caleb Ransom of Red Oak. Going in tight here, going in a nice low single leg here is Johnson. Gets himself a takedown has the butcher, now goes into a reverse half. Trying to be able to bring the hips down. Tries to lock this up through. Ransom trying to be able to fight off his back here. Now bringing it in tight again. Ransom now trying to be able to slip over the top here. Does a good job trying to be able to fight off his back and does, but Johnson now still in control here. Leads 7-0, minute 5 left here in this first period. Now goes into rolling a wrist on the right side, trying to break down the hips. Ransom trying to be able to spin and face and go through, and will. Nice job from Ransom. Still in control is Johnson. Ransom out in front, trying to be able to work something through here. 45 seconds left in this first, down 7-0. Throws it by, gets himself a reversal for 2. Nice job there from Ransom, able to get himself back into this match, down 7-2.
30 seconds remaining in the first.
Now Ransom trying to be able to go for, looks like a cradle here on the far side. Johnson trying to be able to spin and face. Ransom trying to be able to get back into scoring position. Nice Granby roll from Johnson's, able to roll through, gets himself a reversal, and now leads here 9-2. 10 seconds left here in this first period. Now trying to come back over across, throws in the leg, gets himself caught a little too high. Ransom's able to get himself the reversal, going to get some near fall too as well. And that's going to do it here for your first period. Nice job from Ransom. You know, Johnson gets himself caught a little high, and as he's caught high, there's going to get some near fall rewarded too as well. Nice job there coming from Ransom. Looks like there's going to be a questioning here. They're going to get, see what's going to.
I think when he was swiping and when the time was.
Well, there was still time on the clock as he was swiping. And then
I think that's the question.
So what I saw, he was swiping with at least 2 seconds on the clock, so it should be 2. So they're going to say it's a good swipe.
Yeah.
And it's going to be 4. So I think the reversal happened when there was 4. I think they're going to say 4 seconds on the clock. So I guess that's interesting. You know, they get the reversal for 2. As he gets the reversal for 2, there must have been at least 4 seconds on the clock. Gets 4 swipe, then gets tapped. Now brings it to a 9-8 match. And I think Ransom's going to choose neutral. Shot attempt here coming from Johnson. Front head and arm from Ransom. Trying to be able to bounce the head down here of Johnson. Looking for a head in the hole. Does a nice throw by there. Going to slip in the leg. Going to get close for 3. Johnson still has the arm out in front. Ransom's got to be able to get behind the arms here. And there's going to be your 3. Which is, you know, that's kind of interesting. They gave it to him, still being out in front, but getting to get the 3 for the takedown. Still in position here is Ransom. Now leads here 11-9. Now it's going to be 11-10. Great match we've got going down here now. High scoring, a lot of reversals, a lot of switches. Another low shot attempt here come from Johnson on a low ankle. Ransom trying to be able to slip his leg through, make this become his takedown. Nothing rewarded yet. Trying to be able to slip this leg through. Johnson's got a hold of it. Ransom trying to be able to hip his way over. Johnson doing a good job of continuing to climb up the tree. And Will gets himself the takedown for 3. There's going to be 2 swipes for near fall. And now Ransom able to slip out the back door, get himself the reversal for 2. So they're going to get 2 near fall, 2 reversal. It's going to be now 13. It should be 15-13. Now Underwood leads with that 4-point move. Now Johnson trying to be able to work his way out of this. Tries to be able to roll through here. Ransom down again, 15-13. Trying to roll on a wrist here on the right side. 20 seconds left here in this second period. Chop and jam on the left side for Ransom. Now trying to be able to roll on a wrist, trying to slip in on an armbar. Going for a ball and chain here. 10 seconds left here in this second period. Gets his arm caught out in front. Can get a half here if he wants it. Now breaks down the arm. 2 seconds left here. Just needs a hold up on top. Nothing's going to come out of it. And there's going to be no points rewarded. 15-13. A lot of scrambling here is going to be Johnson's choice. Johnson's going to choose bottom.
Headed into the third. It's 15-13, like Eli said. Underwood leads 28-18 in the duel.
It's going to be Johnson's choice. Johnson chooses bottom. Ransom now will cover. Chop and jam coming on the left side. Ransom now trying to be able to work something in. Has a half now, trying to be able to reach out for a wrist. Needs to bump the hips back down. Does so. Now switch attempt here coming from Johnson. Johnson's able to get back up to his feet and gets himself the 1. 16-13 match here. Takedown lead here for Johnson. Now getting in onto a Russian tie. Goes down to a low single leg. Ransom trying to be able to whiz her down here. Going for a dump attempt is Johnson. There's going to be 3 rewarded. Now 19-13 lead here Johnson has over Ransom.
We're going to have a quick legal ID, Eli, and we'll be right back on radio. Over on the orange mat, St. Albert with the lead over Denison, 24-18 on the orange mat. Welcome back to our radio audience. Here we go, Eli.
Minute 17 left here in this third period. Johnson, just needs to be able to ride tough on top. Ransom's got to be able to work his way back up to his feet, not roll through on a turn. And there's going to be at least 2 near fall there. Now looking for a half here is Johnson now trying to run this thing through. Ransom tried to be able to roll through. Johnson doing a good job just following the hips, staying behind the arms. Now rolling in a wrist again. 19-13 is the score here. Now Ransom does a good job trying to be able to roll through, but Johnson's able to sink the legs in on the roll through. Is going to get some more near fall swipes with 42 seconds left here. Score is going to be, let's see. Now he's got a power half locked in here, and this is locked in pretty tight here. And he's going to be able to get the fall. Great match all in all, but, Ransom trying to be able to roll through, had some attempts, but Johnson again was able to come out on top, was able to settle down the hips, and was able to go and gets himself the fall victory. Underwood leads here now 34-18.
All right. There you go, Eli.
Now
Looks like Jackson Purdue for the Red Oak Tigers at 157.
I'm going to say it's Will Buckle. I'm going to guess here for Underwood.
Coming over to the table. Buckholt.
Let's find that out.
That is correct.
Buckholt for Underwood and Purdue of Red Oak here. That's going to happen at 157. We're going to go out to the middle. They're going to shake hands.
And we're going to get after it.
That's right. There you go.
34-18 is the score. Underwood with the lead.
Collar tie, heavy hands here coming from Buckholt. Inside collar tie for Purdue. Nice slide by from Buckholt. Now goes down to the legs, gets himself a takedown for 3. He's going to let Purdue go. 1 escape here for Purdue. Trying to be able to work in on some ties with some heavy hands from Buckholt. Goes now they're down to another single, do a double leg, gets himself another takedown. Now leads here 6-2. Lets Purdue up. Shot fake here coming from Buckholt. A lot of speed and quickness showing there on the mat. Heavy hands on the head. Comes down in front. Trying to be able to work his way around. Gets himself to do so. Nothing rewarded yet. Going to get the 3. Now going to lead here 9-2. Chop and jam here onto the right side. Minute 10 left here in this first period. It's going to let up Purdue again. 9-3 is our score. Going in on a Russian tie, tries to bring the arm in tight, gets down to a single leg. Purdue's able to sprawl, gets himself caught up in front. Nice reshot to a fireman's there as Buckholt gets Purdue onto his back, looking to be able to get to the fall, and will. Nice job from Buckholt. Position wasn't there. Purdue was trying to be able to fight with hands out in front. He's able to get himself in on a reshot, gets himself the fireman straight to his back, and gets the fall.
He's a good wrestler, Eli.
Yes, he is. Buckholt's a good wrestler. He stays light on his feet. He's able to go.
Adam Beyer for the Red Oak Tigers here at 165.
And Sam Hulsling, I'm going to assume.
Hulsing, we'll see if that's Hulsing. Get the announcement. I think it is.
Yep, Hulsing. We'll see in just a second here.
Here we go. 165.
So 165, Adam Beyer and Hulsing of Underwood. Looked to be a good match in here. Underhook here on the left side for Beyer, trying to be able to work in tight here. Now to a fireman's carry attempt coming from Hulsing. Beyer in, still on this underhook. Here on the left side, overs now coming here from Hulsing. Beyer trying to be able to work inside onto a shy here, trying to be able to hike this thing up. Hulsing tries to be able to step through. Beyer goes for a Superman duck. Nothing comes out of it. Still with double unders now. Beyer's not really locked in tight of him. Good pummel there from Hulsing. They're going to break out of it and go back to the center. You're at 165. Tap it on the head. Beyer now goes down to a single leg. Reshot attempt coming from Hulsing. Beyer is able to get himself a reshot of his own. Hulsing's able to stand back up to his feet. Nothing comes out of it. Minute 5 left here in this first period. Collar tie here on the right side for Holsing. Now it goes down to a shot. Byer does a nice slide by single. Needs to be able to finish this and get himself to a corner. 53 seconds left. Trying to be able to elevate this. You got to know where you're at here on the edge of the mat. Brings it back out in front. Now trying to be able to work this thing forward here. He's got the arm underhook here on the one side. Now trying to be able to throw this thing through. They get the elbow stuck in an odd position here. Going to get himself a takedown from 3. A great finish there coming from Byer. Now working in on some hands. Hand fight down underneath. Holstein doing a good job staying in tight. Byer's going to let him back up to his feet. 3-1 the score. Byer in now, getting on the wrist. Here is Holstein. 15 seconds left in the first. Trying to slide by singles. Holstein. Byer's able to work his way out of it. 10 seconds left here in this first period. Collar tie on the left side. Trying to get an underhook here onto the right. Bringing pressure in forward. 2 seconds left here in the first, and that's going to do it here for your first period. It's good wrestling out of both these guys here, trying to be able to work in on some shots.
Yep.
Byer's able to come out on top in that first with a 3-1 lead.
All right. Over on the orange mat at 150, Denison or St. Albert leads Denison 24-21, and on the black mat, Underwood leads Red Oak 40-18.
It's going to be Holstein's choice. Holstein defers. Byer will choose bottom. Off the whistle, he's trying to stand up to his feet as Byer gets up to his feet. Holstein tries to get out in front. Byer is able to get in on an underhook after his escape. Now leads here 4-1. Underhook here on the left side is Byer. Shot attempt here coming from Holstein. Nice job there from Byer to just sink the hips down. Now has himself a chance to be able to lock up this cradle. He's going to get himself 3 takedown. Now leads here 7-1. Here out on the left side of Holstein, trying to be able to run this thing through. Now going in on a crossface. Holstein stays in really tight on bottom, doesn't try to give up much. 2-on-1 now for Byer. Trying to be able to roll this wrist through. Holstein trying to be able to roll out. Minute 15 left here in the second. Byer now comes back out. Nice job there from Holstein. Grabs onto the arm of Byer. Able to work his way back up to his feet. He's going to be able to get the one escape. 7-2 now the lead. And it looks like we might have some blood time.
I believe so. Blood time out here.
A good job from both these guys. A lot of scrambling, a lot of physicality there too as well. Working inside, trying to be able to find themselves a shot attempt. And again, Holstein does a good job there. You know, when Byer's got that underhook, really needs to be able to hike this thing up pretty tight, because what we're kind of seeing here, he's getting in on this underhook and he's really kind of walking in. When he's got that underhook, sink this thing up just a little bit tighter and be able to go instead of just walking around with it, because you don't want Holstein to be able to drop down to a leg, try to be able to hit a fireman's off it. So if Byer continues to hike up these underhooks like we can see, I'm sure he's going to be able to hike it up a little bit higher and get what he wants.
All right, here we go. Back at it, Eli.
Back to the center here. Blood time's cut. Underhook again here coming from Byer. Trying to be able to work something up. Again, Holstein tries to be able to go down to a leg. Nothing comes out of it. Byer again in on this underhook. Now goes down to a leg of his own. 54 seconds left here in this second period. Byer again in on an underhook. Like to see that just get a little deeper in here. Front head and arm trying to attempt here for Holstein. Now tries to go down for a fireman's carry. Has the arm in of Byer in on the tricep. Trying to be able to work their way, and they're going to go out of bounds. Back to the center, and that's where it is. Holstein's trying to use that underhook to his advantage. Byer just needs to hike that up just a little bit higher.
30 seconds remaining in the second.
Shot attempt here coming from Holstein. Byer now with double unders, looking for a good reshot out of this.
Looks like
Byer now trying to be able to slip through, gets Holstein right onto his back. Nice job from Byer, but Holstein be able to work well, but Byer doing a good job of trying to be able to settle the hips down. 10 seconds left here. Now trying to be able to step through, gets himself in onto an armbar. Is going to get 3 near fall out of it. 4 seconds left here in this second period. Now gets onto a 2-on-1. Nice job from Byer to be able to slip through, gets himself in on the takedown and some near fall. Look like there's going to be a little bit more blood time.
Yep, I believe so. We'll hop over to the orange mat while they take care of that. And it's 40-18 Underwood with the lead here headed into the third period. I think we're going to get cleaned up here and be ready to go.
Yeah.
Byer leads Red Oak leads 13-2 here. And over on the orange mat, which if you're watching, hopped over there for just a minute, it's St. Albert over Denison 24-21. They're at 150. Here we go, back on the orange mat. Back on the black mat.
Beyer again with a lead now 13-2 is able to catch Holsing onto his back going to this third period. It was Beyer's choice. Looks like Beyer chose neutral. Now tries to be able to go back down to a leg. Holsing with a reshot attempt. Beyer now gets cut out in front. Headlock looks like it's trying to be able to come from Holsing. Beyer does a good job of just rolling through. You know, when those headlocks happen, that's what you got to do. More times than not, if you can roll through with the headlock, you're going to land up on top, and he's able to. Now leads here 16-2. You know, he's going to let the escape here happen. Or more looks like he's going to be able to get down onto a leg, but he's going to give himself the escape. Beyer again, one takedown away here from getting himself a tech fall. Collar tie here on the left side. Pressuring in forward. Now underhook here for Holsing. Now Beyer trying to be able to work his way around. Gets himself now the takedown for 3. Now leads 19-3. Looks like that's going to be... should be the tech fall that's going to happen right there. I was thinking, that's why they were buzzing that horn there. I said, there's your tech fall. Nice job from Beyer. You know, Holsing, honestly, I thought wrestled a pretty good match, had some opportunities, but Beyer did a really good job of continuing to go in onto his shots. Nice job there from Beyer. Gets himself the victory.
Here we go.
We're going to go on now.
Charlie Myers from Underwood at 175. Curtis Jackson of Red Oak at 175. Curtis Jackson, Charlie Myers.
Here we go. Shaking hands down the center circle here at 175. Jackson and Meyer. Myers of Underwood gets now down front head and arm position here. Tries to be able to run this through. Gets himself a takedown for 3. Now goes to a chop and jam on the left side. Jackson and Meyer. Now goes onto a wrist with a 2-on-1. Trying to be able to get himself in onto a crossface. Trying to be able to bump the hips down here as Meyer rolls in a wrist here on the left side. On Jackson. Now trying to hop out to the side here is Meyer rolling in this wrist, trying to be able to use that. Now has the wrist, both wrists locked in pretty tight. Now he's going to hop sides to a half. Going to be close. Looks like he came over, just tapped just slightly.
What is that? So what was that call, Eli? Tell me what that was.
So he had a full Nelson that happened there. Was able to touch both tops of the head and is able to get called for a full Nelson. Going to go back down on bottom. 3-1 again our score. He's going to cover on top, goes down to a chop and jam here. Trying to be able to roll in a wrist on the right side here. 55 seconds left here in this first period. Now going in again. Needs to be careful because close last time. Meyer was in on a full Nelson. Now trying to be able to run this half. Trying to be able to run in on a wrist. Meyer trying to be able to muscle this through. Jackson doing a good job trying to be able to base out with the other side. Not trying to be able to get turned here. Jackson doing a good job now basing down on the hips. Has this half in pretty deep. Now trying to be able to roll in on this wrist. He's cranking this over. But a nice job from Jackson fighting this thing off, posting a leg. Meyer trying to be able to run this through. 20 seconds left. Just short time here. It looks like it's locked in here pretty tight. He's going to be able to get the fall.
There you go.
And now we're going to move on now to 190.
Schofield.
Yep, looks like Schofield.
At 190.
Schofield and Hewen, I'm pretty sure, at 190 for Underwood.
And for Underwood, it'd be
Hayden Hewen. Here we go, Eli.
Another thing at state qualifier for Underwood last year. We're going to go here to center circle, and we're going to get things going. Schofield and Hewen. They're going to shake hands in the center. Going to break out. Heavy collar tie here for Hewen. Now just goes to a snap down on Schofield. Schofield's able to break his way out of it. Another shot attempt here coming from Hewen. Schofield does a good job breaking out of it. They're going to go in again now. Snaps down. Now sweeps on. Goes for a Superman dunk. Schofield's able to do a good job. They want to work out of it. It's going to be officials' time here, resetting this brace. Looks like he just might be taking it off and being done with it.
I think so.
They're going to go back in on the center. They're going to go. Collar tie again here for Hewen. Schofield trying to be able to circle out of it. Shot attempt here from Hewen. Does a nice job being able to get this takedown here. Going to put Schofield down back onto the mat. Leads now here 3-0. Now in on a spiral ride is Hewen on Schofield. Now rolling in this wrist. Schofield trying to be able to break out of it. Hewen riding tough on top here. Minute 19 left here in the first period. Trying to be able to cross the legs up here, and they're going to go out of bounds and back down to the center.
So, Eli, we just had a camera go down.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but we swapped over. We're okay. Just if you're watching online, give me a minute. We're going to get that cleared up.
No.
So, anyway,
I may
about
have
that.
I may have a little something, I'm sure.
One of those things with this camera, we're going to have to deal with that, but we're fine here.
There we go. That's why we brought two.
That's exactly right.
Chop and jam here on the left side. Now to a crossface is Hewen looking for a butcher. Schofield trying to be able to spin and face. Hewen comes back on the other side, trying to be able to circle his way around. Now reaching down to an ankle, trying to be able to run this thing through is Hewen. Schofield putting up a good fight, trying to be able to belly down here. 51 seconds left. Hewen trying to be able to run this butcher over. Schofield doing a good job bellying down, trying to be able to get on his base. Hewen trying to be able to turn this through. Trying to be able to walk all the way back around. No back points rewarded yet. Schofield doing a good job bellying down. Now Hewen looks like he's going to be able to get a little bit of the turn, but nothing rewarded yet. 25 seconds left here. Nice job from Schofield being able to stay on his belly. Still trying to be able to walk through. Schofield does a good job getting his way out of that. Now 3-1, gets an escape is the lead here for Hewen. Heavy collar tie here on the right side. Hewen showing a lot of motion. Trying to be able to get his way stuff to a takedown. They're going to go out of bounds with 9 seconds left here, right down to the edge of the mat, go all the way out.
Jan Castle-Renander got right in the middle of that one down there, let me tell you.
Goes in on a shot attempt again. Trying to go upper body, tries to throw through, gets himself a takedown there, close to on the edge of the mat. Looks like he will, gets himself 3. Now leads here 6-1 going into the second period. It's going to be Hewen's choice. Hewen's going to go bottom. Schofield now will cover. Hewen right up to his feet off the whistle. Schofield looking for a mat return. Hewen's able to stay on his feet well. Breaks out the hands, gets himself an escape for 1, now leads 7-1. Collar tie here on the right side. Trying to bring this back down onto the mat into a Russian tie is Hewen. Schofield trying to be able to circle his way back out of this. Now goes down to a single leg. Nice job there from Hewen. Going to have Schofield onto his back, going to give himself at least 1 swipe. Now trying to be able to turn this over. Is Hewen going to get at least 3 out of this? Now going for a tilt attempt is Hewen. Schofield stays belly down. Now goes to a bear claw ride is Hewen. Trying to be able to break the hips down of Schofield. Minute 5 left here in this second period. Shoving the head here. Looking for a power half. Trying to be able to crank this over. Schofield bellying down here. Hewen trying to be able to get his leg limped out. And tries to be able to turn this. Schofield showing some strength for sure. Hewen really trying to be able to turn this. Now has this half locked in pretty deep. Now looking for this wrist. Trying to go for a 3/4 Nelson. Nothing comes out of it. Now shoving the head down is Hewen going to let Schofield back up to his feet. 10-2 now our score. Now going in and back in on a single leg is Hewen. Now trying to lock up this cradle and run Schofield straight to his back. Has this locked up here pretty tight. He's going to be able to get the fall.
All right.
And now we'll move on, I think, to our last match of the night here at 2:15.
I think you are correct, Eli. Underwood 52, Red Oak 23. Yep, moving on to 215. Over on the orange mat. And I do believe that was the final one of the evening for
It looks like they may be wrestling a
JV
match over there.
51-30, I believe, is the final, with Denison getting the victory over St. Albert.
We're going to go to our final match of the night here with Grady Jones of Underwood and Oliver Dykes of Red Oak. Goes into over-unders, has a headlock locked in. Nothing comes out of it. Now goes down to a snatch single. Tries to be able to get down this takedown right there. Does Jones. Now just going to roll through here. Gets himself the takedown and now lets up Dykes for the escape. 52-23 the team score. Over-unders here for Dykes, trying to be able to get something locked up here. Shot fake there coming from Jones. Gets himself another takedown here for 3. Trying to be able to cross the legs up here and roll through on Dykes. Going to let Dykes back up onto his feet. Gets himself the escape for 1. Jones now goes for the underhook here on the right side. Now goes through a cross. Gets himself a takedown here for 3. It's going to now lead here 9-2. Going to throw in a leg here on the left side. Now trying to work over power half. Over on Dykes. Going to get himself the power half and get himself the turn. Looks like it's going to be pretty close to a fall here. Dykes trying to be able to fight through. Does a great job fighting through. Going to be 4 near fall. 13-2 now the lead. Now Dykes trying to be able to hop over again. Run this Turk. Dykes trying to fight his way out of it. Going to get himself a near fall. 39 seconds left. Going to get 4 near fall out of it. Now tries to hop back over and get himself in. Dykes trying to be able to fight off his back and work over. Dykes doing a good job fighting off. Jones has this locked up now here. It's going to get himself the 3 near fall. Going to be 16-2. Now another power half here coming from Jones. Now as Dykes onto his back, either going to be a pin or a tech fall here after this here in the first. And it's going to be the fall there for Jones over Dykes here in the final match of the evening.
That was the final one, right, Eli?
Yep,
so
and they'll have a couple JV matches.
58-23 is what I have for the evening. And yeah, we're going to have a JV match here. We got some JV matches going over on the other, and hopefully we can visit with Coach Podliska here before we step away. But let's do this. Let's take a quick break here. Again, some JV matches will be taking place, but we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back after this. Red Oak, Aaron West along with Eli Bells. Some junior varsity matches taking place here this evening, and they are wrapping up. Let me tell you what has happened in the opening round. It was Red Oak and St. Albert. Red Oak comes out on top 44-31, and it was Underwood over Denison 68-10. Round 2, Red Oak and Denison. Red Oak comes out on top. Exciting 37-35, and it was Underwood over St. Albert 62-16. Round number 3, it was Underwood over Red Oak by a score of 58-23, and Denison defeats St. Albert 51-31. Underwood undefeated on the night, Eli.
Yeah,
in team scores.
And you can just tell, and kind of year in, year out, they've got a pretty complete team too as well from top to bottom. And just some big solid athletes you see in the upper weights too as well, with some solid wrestling. Very impressive. But for Red Oak too as well, go 2-1 on the night. Saw a lot of improvement, and I'm sure you're going to continue to see that all the way down the road here.
Yep.
Coming in the rest of this wrestling season.
So, Penn there, I'm not sure if there'll be more junior varsity here, but we are going to see if we can maybe get Coach Podliska. I think maybe looks like Johnson maybe is going to wrestle here. We're going to take a break, and we'll see if we can get Coach Podliska in just a couple minutes, but we'll be back after this. Fun night. Here we go. Hang on a second. Welcome back to Red Oak now, and we're joined now, head coach of the Red Oak Tigers, Coach Tegan Podliska, with us. Coach Podliska, thanks for coming and visiting with me.
Absolutely. Thanks for being here.
Exciting night, Coach, of wrestling. Tell me, walk me through the evening here. What did you see from your team that you liked?
Yeah, it's crazy. Just, most sports you just like go and you have your game.
Yep.
And, in wrestling we got a quad. So, usually you got your game and your game went well or your game didn't go well. Maybe you got some ebbs and flows within the quarters. Well, we got 3 quads and there's ebbs and flows in every quad. We often refer, some wrestling people say weddings and funerals. It's celebration. You're excited. It's great. And then you're down. And it's just nonstop. And, I thought our kids competed. We kind of came in and we knew that we had some opportunities, kind of looking at the lineups. We figured, we could potentially, if you looked at it, you probably would say, okay, tradition-wise, they'll probably go 2-1. And, we had that talk beforehand. I'm like, but we're not guaranteed anything. And we knew that some things were going to be close. We knew that, we got a couple guys banged up in the lineup, so it was going to be probably more difficult than if we had everybody where we needed them to be and everybody was feeling 100%. But that's wrestling, sometimes even when you're not 100%, you can still go through it. And sometimes you back off certain times of the year and you say, I just got to give them a little time off and look, the end all isn't the duel in Red Oak. It's the end of the season. And you got some seniors who obviously you see that didn't wrestle in the lineup. And, well, it's very important for them. This is the go. So, we're not going to risk anything here in a quad in Red Oak. We're going to look forward to their future. But, you look at that first duel, and St. Albert, ended up 44-31. And, Oliver went out there and kind of rolled around a little bit and then got into some better positions and put the kid away. So felt good about that. Obviously, we had a couple forfeits. And then, we come back and Carson Van Scoy, that was pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Goes out and gets
awesome.
a major. He was kind of rolling around a little bit, and then he kind of calmed down a little bit, and then we started controlling positions a little bit more. And, man, there were so many points scored, and I'm like looking at the scoreboard, and I'm like, are we losing? And we got to talk to the table, and they're like, well, the fouls only go to 19, so you actually have 23 points, not 13 points. I'm like, okay, I feel a lot better because I felt like we did too many good things to be down 4 right
points,
now.
Yes, absolutely.
So, that was exciting, and then come back and Caleb Ransom gets a major, and that's big for him. He's you look at some of the stories we've had in the program, and, you look at Dayton 2 years ago, 82-pounder, cuts down, 32-pounder.
Yeah.
Caleb, 95-pounder, 150-pounder. Just and it's not like they did things extreme that you shouldn't do. It's just changing your body and getting a little bit healthier and feeling a little bit stronger and a little bit more confident. And that's one of the things the sport can do for you. And then we come back in the last match in the St. Albert duel, and Adam is Adam.
Yeah,
It's good to see him back.
Yes, it was good to see him back, and I told his mom that after the first duel. I mean, man, it's fun to have him back because he just he's a really good kid, and he works hard, and man, he's fun to watch. He puts and one of the things people don't realize is he was out. They might realize he was out all year last year, but he actually wrestled freestyle and Greco this summer because he said, Coach, I missed my whole junior season. I got to get on the mat. And he did some really good things on the freestyle and Greco scene. And one of the things that's nice about that is scoring's a little bit different, and there's not as much pressure because nobody really knows how you did on the tournament on Saturday. It's not on the radio. It's not in the newspaper. Not that you guys wouldn't do it if I wanted you to, but the pressure is a little bit different, and our focus is always getting better at wrestling, but really getting better at wrestling. And our focus for him was his attack rate because in the past he would have a lot of matches where it would come down to 1 point. And as we know, you wrestle a lot of 1 point matches. Sometimes things happen at
Yeah.
the end, and you step wrong and you end up on your butt, and now you're down.
Yep.
So, if you increase your attack rate, you give yourself a little bit more wiggle room for something to happen, or you just put guys away, and that's fun too. So he looked good in that duel, and then came back, beat Denison 37-35. We kind of, we're looking at the lineup, trying to figure some things out, and we know Andrew Johnson, he obviously came back in that last match, and he came out a little late. And so, we had some conversations, and so that was an opportunity for him because we know how he is, and he's had some really good practices, and so we've kind of backed him off, and that was the decision. We're going to put him in because we need 6 points.
Absolutely.
And he's that's how he wrestles.
Yes.
So he's going to go out there, and he's pretty darn good, and so that was awesome for him to come back and win that match, and we did some other good things in that match. Jackson Purdue.
Yes.
Yeah. So
fun night, Coach.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and talk about it a little bit that too. I was talking with Aaron. It's kind of different with wrestling in the winter season. You get those 2 seasons, but especially in wrestling, you almost get 2 tail of teams from once you come back from break. And that practice that you have over winter break is something where you can really hone back in on your techniques, and it gets to be really a lot of fun.
Oh, for sure. We're really obviously we're excited to go compete in Kansas City
Absolutely.
this weekend, but though, like you're saying, the winter break practices are your early season practices and your winter break. Those are the only times you really get a chance to coach your kids because otherwise you're wrestling Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And we have a very specific pre-meet practice that we do. So it's hard to actually say, hey, we need to get better at this.
Yes.
So this is the time where we get to sit down and get better at wrestling, which that's the end goal.
Yeah.
And not the end goal. We want to do a lot of good things. We want to teach some good traits and things like that. But we do that through progression.
Absolutely.
What's next, Coach?
Tomorrow morning, the girls away. So me and Coach Ruskell will go get my truck. We'll drive down to Kansas City. Girls weigh in at 7 a.m. Start wrestling, I think, at 9 o'clock. And then the boys will have morning run out tomorrow. Then they'll leave at 7:30. They'll come down to Kansas City. They'll weigh in at 11. They'll start wrestling at 1. The girls will be done about noon. So then we'll wrestle the boys, and then we'll stay in Kansas City, and then we'll wrestle all day again Saturday.
There you go.
Absolutely.
You got a late night ahead of you,
Yes.
Coach.
Yeah. So I'm
and an early morning.
I'm looking forward to these kids getting these things put up, and then I'll probably go back, grab a bag of extra singlets and throw them on my truck, and me and Ruskell will take off.
Right.
I think I'm going to change into some comfier clothes. I mean, honestly, golf slacks,
Yes.
they're pretty darn comfy.
That's right. Yes.
But
some sweat sounds pretty
and
good.
I don't mind my cowboy boots, but if I'm going to go drive for a couple hours, I might throw my head dudes on or something.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Very good. Coach Podliska, thanks for coming up. It's been a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming up and visiting with us. We sure appreciate it.
Yep, thanks for coming.
All right,
Yes,
thanks,
best
Coach.
of luck.
Head coach of the Red Oak Tigers, Tegan Podliska, with us. All right,
Hey.
Eli.
We'll see you later. Good luck.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it. And he's heading to Kansas City.
I know.
He's heading
Golly.
to Kansas City.
1 second.
So, absolutely. So, and our thanks to head coach Tegan Podliska for visiting with us here. Let me tell you what has happened this evening. And in round 1, it was Red Oak over St. Albert 44-31. Underwood defeats Denison 68-10. Round 2, it was Red Oak over Denison 37-35 and Underwood over St. Albert 62-16. In round number 3, it was Underwood over Red Oak 58-23 and Denison over St. Albert 51-30. Eli, thoughts here?
Yeah,
This evening?
and great night of wrestling all the way across the board. It's always nice to come out with a couple dual victories, and then, you turn around and go to a huge tournament down the Stampede. I mean, that's a nationally known tournament that you have down there, and it's always good to get that great competition. Then you're going to head into a nice break, and just like Coach Podliska said, you get to actually kind of coach your kids just a little bit more, and then you really ramp it up once it comes to January, and before you know it, it's February, and we're going to be at Wells Fargo.
That's right. Eli, thanks for calling all the wrestling tonight. Sure appreciate it.
Yes, absolutely, anytime.
Make it a good one. That's going to do it for us here this evening, and we do want to say thanks to Eli Bells for calling and all of his fine commentary this evening. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Make note and say thank